And we are live with more Adventures of Fail Cleric, the most uncharismatic, rizless motherfucker ever. Hi everybody, welcome. So, we're playing more Esoteric Ebb today, and I'm pretty excited because we are going to be planning on going through more of the underground, potentially, which has me excited. And we're also going to be having a conversation with the Asgalist side of the factions, and I know I wanted to close the book on those guys that were in the roller mill, but they were still there when we got back, so I think I have to put a definitive end to that. So we're going to try and pack as much stuff as we can into the stream, because I'm going to probably go for maybe 3 to 3.5 hours, because I do have to go to bed and wake up earlier than I have been due to my schedule change, so letting y'all know that now. And as I mentioned in my last stream with Resident Evil, I will be changing to a Tuesday through Thursday schedule instead of just weekends. Maybe an occasional weekend stream if I have time off or something in between, but for certain Tuesday through Thursday. So letting you know that now. Yeah, last time we left off, we had a very extended, interesting conversation with a halfling in his house about a lot of different topics regarding the natures of, like, alignment, you know, your chaotic goods, your neutrals, and so forth. And then we went around for a while, had some more conversations with a lot of different characters, and we found where the Asgalist's apartment is, and likely where the copper press is. So we're going to be going through that. We'll see about the roller mill thing, and then I want to actually go into the underground, since we have Snell with us, and we have Mink, who will help us with detecting monsters, since they themselves are a mimic. So, yeah. So we're on day 3 or 4? No, 3. We're on day 3 in this game, so that's what the deal is. And we already attempted our dex or wisdom roll to know more about her. And we also did our con roll to learn more about him. Mr. Cleric? What is that thing? Pointed the machine. Copper press, she answers without looking up. For the chant. Are you allowed to run a copper press in an apartment like this? Cool thing you've got it here. Did you see this whole thing? Set this whole thing up yourself? Who writes all the articles? Who writes all the articles? We've got a circle. Anonymous journalists. And no, I'm not giving you names. Why anonymous? She clicks her tongue and mumbles out a poem. Only bad folk live to see their likeness set in stone. And also, the Asgal movement's close to being branded as a heretical disease. We're keeping a low profile. She sighs. But I do write a bit myself, mostly to fill out the pages. Are you allowed to run a copper press in an apartment like this? You a friend or not? Can't a friend ask about the legality of the copper press? I'm not a snitch, don't worry. She frowns. The city has a bunch of inane and, quite frankly, oppressive laws about what constitutes a legal printing business. All of it's bullshit, meant to keep people from printing stuff the city doesn't like. So you're saying the city should allow anything to be printed? No, obviously. But when those who decide what gets to go to print are also deeply affiliated with the biggest political party in the city, things get morally dubious. But I can promise you, we're on the right side of history here. Yeah. There's no sense of doubt in her voice. This girl's got more backbone than half the bureaucrats in the palace. Which is very dangerous, both for her and those bureaucrats. Cool thing you've got going here. Thanks. Her voice drips with cold disdain. She would prefer to be appreciated by rebels, the youth, and cool people. Not helmed fascists. Yeah, because unfortunately we are Earthguard. Did you set this whole thing up yourself? Why? You don't think I could? She does not want you to undermine her. It's impressive, no matter who you are. She clicks her tongue and glances at you. I I'm the second forewoman among the youth Asgals. Let her talk. My mentor, she founded the youth Asgalis, the youth Asgals from scratch, so I've got a lot to live up to. I'd helped a bit before taking on the editing role, so I've run the youth Asgals since I was a kid. But I didn't expect to take over all the Tolstad stuff. While I'm happy to do it, I'll admit that I'm spread a bit thin. And honestly, it's... She stops and clears her throat. Until the election, we're all giving it 200%. Now, do you have any other questions, or can I get back to work? You're both editor and writer? That sounds fun. Sure. What do you write? Page ops, mostly. Page ops. A focused newspaper column featuring the opinions of a writer on a topic of relevance to a targeted audience. Tell me more. She groans and taps the machine. I write about current events, guild conflicts, strikes, corrupt officials, illegal spellcasting by clerics. Her eyes land on you for a few seconds. Anything the other newspapers won't touch, basically. What kind of writing are you inspired by? She laughs. I highly doubt you'd know any author I enjoy. Try me. She hits you with a grin. What have you unleashed? I enjoy Lady Same Kofrin. Her poem series should be mandatory reading for every young girl in Norvik, if it were up to me. You'll be stuck here all day. Vitel Alberg is my favorite modern Asgal author. It's fiction, but it's like so much more than that. I also love Vanessa D. Crawdad. She really has this, ethereal nature to her, don't you agree? The last one's fake. You made that last one up. She laughs. You got me. Just wanted to make sure you were awake. Okay, any more? Oh, and politically, I'm really into the early work of Helga Hemlin as well. It's genuinely inspiring to read her collection of early texts back when the Norvikian suffrage movement was just getting started. Bad memories. Did you know she went from a peasant widow to the headliner of the biggest ever city protest in the span of 4 months? Yeah, Mom worked a lot back then. She's probably the most... The girl stops and gives you a confounded look. I mean, she works a lot these days, too. Her eyes widen. Your mom is Helga Hemlin? Look around nervously. What are you yelling about? Medusa looks over to the dwarf. The cleric just claimed that his mom is Helga Hemlin. The human suffragette. Yeah. The other dwarves start to mumble. Wait, you're not kidding, cleric? It's just my mom. Holy shit. Oh, so our mom is a major well-known Asgal figure. Oh. The goblin turns away and mutters. That explains so much. That's crazy. What the hells? Yeah, crazy. Anyway, I have some other questions. No, I've got some questions. I guess I could answer some. Okay, well, I barely know where to start. How is she as a person? Is she working on anything new? What's up with the Pro-City Forward in her latest collection? How much does she actually believe in Asgalian analysis? What's she voting in the election? Your companion appears equally invested in the conversation. Let's see. As a person, she complains a lot, mostly about me moving out. I remember something about her writing a novel. She doesn't talk much about her work with me. There's books on Asgal analysis in her library. Really? That's so cool. I mean, it's pretty obvious she's into historical materialism if you just read between the lines on her last columns in the Post. Historical materialism. A form of thought arguing that societies throughout time develop based on the way people produce and distribute goods, with these material conditions creating social classes with conflicting interests that drive historical change throughout inevitable struggles for power and resources. Okay, so essentially development of society based around material goods as opposed to wealth and capital and constant expansion. Mostly complained about me moving out. You live with your mom? Huh. Apartments are expensive. I suppose that's fair. But I always imagined that she was like this self-made woman that really cared about the people, you know? Sure, sounds like Mom. Wait, can I meet her? I'd love to do an interview, after the election, of course. It's settled. Once this is all settled, I'll make sure to look her up with your recommendation. Now, about that other stuff. I remember something about her writing a novel. She doesn't talk much about her work with me. Oh, that's cool. I was hoping for another collection, I guess. She doesn't talk to me at all. Oh, well, she must be busy. What am I, dispenser of questions? Come on, just answer. That's usually your line. Why would someone who is so... On one hand, I'm curious as to why the cleric would say that, but I think... Do I go for that or no? I think that's enough questions. Fine. Well, now since you've entertained me, I guess I can answer some more questions if you have any. I've got some other things to ask. Tell me about your relation with the tea shop. Loved that place. Not because it was good, but lots of memories there. You were friends with the owner? Oh, gods no. Mr. Drummer just served tea. We didn't talk to him much. Really sad to see it gone. But I don't know what kind of trouble he ended up in, but I never expected Mr. Drummer to get into explosive trouble. She is not hiding anything from you. Anything else? Not really. He just served tea and made that clacking sound. Alphas might know more. The dwarf glances over to you with a frown. What about an elf? Her eyes go wide. We talked to her once or twice. Nice gal. She shuts her mouth and points to Alphas. Talk to him. No, you tell me more, right now. Nuh-uh. Is she just nuh-uh you? Holy shit. She points to Alphas again. I'm not a snitch. He'll tell you what you're allowed to know. Good. Anything else? What are you voting for in the... what are you voting for? She stares at you. Then she looks to the large Asgal banner hanging on the wall. Are you kidding? I'm just asking. I'm voting green. Interesting. Do you want to know what I'm voting? Not really. Oh. Let your lower lip quiver. Yeah. You want anything else? Damn it. She's smarter than she looks. But can't you ask me what I'm voting for, just for fun? No. Anything else? Wow, we really are just completely pathetic in every way. Is there anything I can do to be of assistance? She looks you up and down. You really want to help? Yeah. Okay then. I do have a quest for you, if you're up to it. Sure, I'm cool with a quest. Nice. Well, it's more of a task, really. Like a fetch quest. If it's got quest in the title, I'm up for it. Look, I've got a massive final printout before Election Day. It's going to be our best edition yet. I've already written an article that shows my vision for a radical and egalitarian revolution of Norfolk. It'll be distributed all over the city, countryside included. But we're tight on ink. They must need a special type of ink to print with copper sheets. What type of printing ink do you need? Caldridge. It's produced in reeds and shipped around the coast. I usually get some off a vendor I know, but they're indisposed at the moment. Election stuff, you know. Why is she lying about this vendor? From what I understand, the entire shipment of Quillwell cartridges is just stuck in the guild warehouse. Since I only need a single set of cartridges to finish off the election edition, I could just walk in there and snatch it. I've even paid for it already. But the Ascani Reeds Trade Company controls it, and they will not let me inside. Not in 100 years. I'll get it for you if I can. If you want to help the cause, that's one way to do it. It'll actually allow us to reach the entire city on Election Day, instead of just, like, 60% of it. 60% is still pretty good. Sure, and we'd obviously focus those 60 on the most Osgal-friendly quarters. But getting a full spread would surely help, even with some diminishing returns. Tell me about this vendor of yours. She shrugs. Some shady guy I barely know. Got the contact from my predecessor. I'll try to gain access to the warehouse then. Good luck. It's down on Water Lane, right next to the Ascani Reeds Trading Company. Should be hard to miss. Is there anywhere else I can find this ink you need? Nope, just the special quill wells will do. Arcano machines like this are picky beasts. They drink what they drink. If you get in, check the guild warehouse on Water Lane. Some questions. You hear her let out a deep sigh along with the dwarven word. Orca. I'll be quick. Right, get on with it. What made you join the Asgal Youth? Lots of things. I read Asgal for one. The Original Sin. Some great works of political literature. I also saw the socio-economic imbalance in Norvikian society growing up, and felt like I had to do something about it, you know? Oh, and I found a great mentor in Miran. Miran? Yeah, she was the founder of the Youth Asgals. She taught me a ton. I've heard about her. Real troublemaker. Trouble is just another word for change. Suppose that's true. Miran. Why don't you name yourself in the paper? It's an illegal paper, cleric. Been there, done there, and so on. What? Stop talking. She looks at you for a second, then shrugs. How did you get this massive printer? Hand me down. She gives you a grin. I won't tell you more than that, copper. Where are you from? Grew up in housing like everyone else, it seems. Though my parents fled Reeds before I was born, the so-called revolution was a hard time for them. She looks a bit sad and wanting to change the subject. What about you? I grew up in the hills. You're a farm boy. Guess I could see that, as long as you vote green. Alright, no more personal questions. Sure? She gives you a confounded, frankly disgusted look. That's all for now. Interesting. So, main character's mom is like a major Asgal figure. Interesting. Alright, let's talk with Alphaz. Mr. Cityman! You see a throng of dwarves shuffling around inside the tiny apartment. The smell of confined sweat reminds you of that summer you spent as a farmhand on the plantation. Terrible memories. Welcome to the Asgalian Sanctuary on Tolstad, short for AST. For short, AST. Hell's bells, it's like they're stacked on top of one another. An apartment full of nothing but dwarven willpower. How can they even breathe in here? This just looks like an apartment. He draws in air through his teeth and looks around. We might not be well funded like you city folk, but we use what little we have to fulfill to full efficiency. But now the question is, what can you do for Asgal Workers' Party? For the Asgal's Workers' Party? Do you have anything particular in mind? The dwarf sucks in a deep breath through his teeth. Then he glances to his men before nodding slowly. You don't really need anything right now. Nothing at all? I've got 5 men out on Waterlane docks. I'm preparing speeches, overseeing poster distributions, all in preparation for the Great March, day before the election. He looks like he's thinking of several other things he needs to be doing right now. So no real need for a spell-slinging cleric here, I'm afraid. Fair enough. It is what it is. Elections are won through organization and press, not magic. Those days are long gone. If you wish to help them, do not offer a cleric. Instead, offer assistance in their printing. Speak with Modissa. We found a dead elf in the tea shop. His face stiffens. He realizes something. An elf, you say? A dead one. Mm-hmm. He mouths in your direction while glancing around the room. He knows something. You can read him like an open book? Not right now. We're in the middle of something. I like that the stats do chide each other a little bit when they interrupt sometimes. That's fun. Tell me what you know, Alphonse.
The elf. Was she...
In the fire. Yeah.
But why did they?
They didn't look properly. You know how it is.
That is unfortunate.
You see Medusa glance over to you, listening in on the convo with a deep frown.
Pinja Athena was a friend of the movement. I suspected she would be involved in this somehow. But...
The dwarf closes his eyes. Years of toil take a toll.
Hope she had simply left the city.
Who was she?
Elim elf. Strange mix-up, I agree. But she was kind.
He looks away as he says it. Who does she work for?
Herself, from what I understand. Understood. Officially, she was connected with the Elim embassy, or whatever they call it.
The Outreach.
That's the one.
So what, she was secretly an Asgalist?
I wouldn't go that far. But she helped. Whatever she was, she shared information, and that was always helpful.
Information?
She would tell me things, whenever I saw her. Intercepted messages sometimes. Leverage to use in labor disputes. Business in the palace, polling numbers before they're published. Opposition that had yet to strike. I'm sure we would have gone ahead on that PPG issue had she been around.
His eyes go dark.
Thinking about it, she helped immensely over the last few years. Countless times. So I don't care what she's identified as. In my eyes, she was an Asgal through and through.
Was she connected with the Free Striders?
I'm sure she was, somehow. Otherwise, I wouldn't know half the stuff she sent over.
What about the city? Did she know people in the palace?
He nods. I don't have the details, but yes, I'm sure.
Did she have any enemies?
Lots, I imagine. I warned her many times that granting us so much information could land her in danger. She did not care.
So she sounds like she was just the best kind of person, huh?
She was alright,
he mutters as his expression falls. What about the Elim? What does she think about them?
You know, I asked her once. Now she didn't exactly give me a straight answer, but something in my gut told me. She was trapped. That's what she looked like. Like a trapped animal. I suppose that's why I hoped she had just upped and left when we didn't hear from her. She deserved to be free, the gal. To be struck down in a damn tea shop. It's foul, really.
Do you know anything about a necklace of fireballs?
A what?
A dwarf would not know much about this, you imagine.
You mean the magic item?
He knows nothing. That reaction is genuine. Yes, did Pinja ever mention it? He shakes his head slowly.
Don't think so. Those are dangerous, aren't they? It's the one that started the Coast War.
He stares at you for a moment. Just give him a second.
Hold on. Did the tea shop blow up because of one of those damn things?
Also, ad break starting in 5 minutes. Possibly. I'm looking into it.
Well, do. I don't want that kind of filth in Norvik. There are those kinds of weapons lying about here. I don't want it taken care of. We don't want another Coast War started over another damn evil fool with a bomb.
So was she a really bad information broker? He chuckles heartily, with a hint of immense sadness.
Good night for it.
That's all I need to know.
Fair enough, city man. Fair enough.
Whose apartment is this?
Simi was kind enough to lend us the use of his home until the election. We thank you, Simi.
You hear a voice in the back.
No problem, Foreman.
You know the tea shop that blew up? Tell me what you know.
What I know? I know damn well how happy I am that none of my boys were inside at the time. Especially happy that none of the youths got hurt either. They spent a lot of time there from what I understand.
Did you know the owners?
The Birdman? No, I never spoke much with him. Something about him never struck quite right with me, and not because of the voice thing, just... It seems like he was happy about hosting the youth meetings and letting us have official drinking nights with the local workers. But he seemed to me an opportunist, if anything. Something about the way he acted. Not sure what. Just a gut feeling, you know.
A man of intuition and little else. The youths?
The Asgal youths. It's the youngling corps. They mostly deal with teenagers and get them into the Asgal's groove, as they say.
He looks proud. So where were you and your men on the day of the explosion?
Busy, as always. Now, I can't keep track of every lad in here. But myself, I was in the palace at the time, applying for 5 or so PPGs alongside another foreman. I heard the boom, though. Most of the city probably did, right at noon. No one really seemed to care that much, even with the ball of smoke rising from Tolstad. I rushed over, of course. The fact that no one died was a miracle, and I'm not one to assign it to divine intervention for nothing.
So what are your thoughts on the explosion?
Free Striders. For sure one of their ploys or plans or schemes that blew up in their faces. Maybe one of their hired hags, or an elemental mercenary gone rogue. I just know it. They're involved in this. And probably the owner, that drummer fellow as well.
It's all about the tea shop. So yeah, like he has basically gut reaction from start to finish with this. What are you voting in the election?
Free Strider.
Of course he... Huh? He gives you a clap on the arm and laughs.
No! Asgalist, of course! What a stupid thing to ask. I like that about you.
He cannot call you that. That's an insult. You do?
Look, a man can only learn by asking. Keeping it inside will only leave way for ignorance. So keep asking your awful and dumb questions, Mr. City Man.
Such an insult. This cannot stand.
Don't call me dumb, you.
The dwarf lifts his chin to you.
I'm not calling him a gnome. What the fuck?
Take a breath.
I'm cool. Can't handle the banter, eh? Too bad.
The dwarf walks up and taps you on the back, hard.
This is a place for men, not boys.
He laughs. You catch a glimpse of Modissa rolling her eyes in the corner. I want to know more about you, Alphaz.
You do you?
What's this Bon Embers thing?
My family. I'm a distant cousin of the ruler of Vase Khan Reikdorm, something I'm not proud of. A name is just a name, but annoyingly it has helped me over the years. I wish to distance myself as much as possible these days.
Where are you from?
My life story, eh? I was born in the Billing, a city within the Twin Mountains eastern of Vizca.
Billing. A VK city within the Twin Mountains of Ascani. Has a close connection with Tolport, with the Norvikian Jarldom almost acting like the unofficial trading post for the entire Vizcan kingdoms. There's even an overland trail network connecting Billing and Tolport, which is only possible due to how closely situated the two are. Alright, well, we'll continue after the ad break, so we're going to go into 3 minutes of ads with an hour of no pre-rolls, so hydrate, stretch, do whatever you need to do, and we'll be right back. And we're back. Thank you for your patience. Alright, so, yeah, it turns out Alphaz is a part of a really well-to-do family, and he actually hates that.
It used to be a foul place, cleaned up in the later years. It's only the VK settlement that's connected with the River Torna. So growing up, I often spoke with the Norvikian sailors. I was always fascinated by the world outside, especially since, as exiles, my people were in many ways viewed as outsiders among the Underfolk. To not even be allowed to dig in your own mountains. What kind of life is that?
So how'd you end up becoming an Asgal?
Chance, mostly. I emigrated with some family members. I was still young in my eyes. But coming to Norvik, suddenly being in your 30s meant that you were old. I liked it. I used my education as a Bon Embers to join dwarf human activist groups around the city. Helping any way I could in various guilds. Sometimes as a labourer, sometimes as a consultant. That is how I got in contact with the Asgalist party in its early days. I was not a founding member, but I was an assistant. Holding the title of Third Secretary of the Asgalist Party was my crowning achievement for a long time. Now, some 20 years later, I'm a foreman. That means I report directly to the party council, which still keeps my boots on the ground. That's the way I like it.
Do you think dwarves belong here on the surface? I'm guessing this refers to, like, because we've encountered underfolk dwarves. We've encountered one, actually, as our first NPC.
An incendiary question. Dwarves belong where there is good, honest labour. That is, in my view, all along the coast, as well as below it. There are dwarves building oppressive empires under several bans. There are dwarves who build ships and journey dangerously close up to Jor's Point.
Jor's Point, the legendary first gate. Based on archaeological evidence, the beasts of Jor believe Jor to have first entered this realm at this location, at the farthest point of Jor's Sea, right where all the bands collide. None who have tried sailing to this point have ever returned. Jor's Sea, a name for the Great Sea, which the bands surround.
There are dwarves who live in settlements, not unlike those of the Fordnip halflings. Just like you humans, just like any folk along the coast, we are as adaptable as they come. Pillar of Asgard beliefs is not viewed people as a pillar of Asgard belief is not to view people as cogs in a machine, but rather like slabs of sandstone, each shaped uniquely by lifetimes of toil.
What do you think about humans?
Like tall, skinny dwarves.
Oh, look down at yourself. He stares at you for a moment, sternly, before bursting into laughter.
We're all different, Mr. Cityman, but trust me when I say all creatures you meet around this strange coast of ours will always be more similar than we are different. Dwarf, human, man, woman, devil or angel. All bound by laws of nature, these rigid norms. And also, of course, a bunch of strange esoteric mechanisms. Yet a few words exchanged and you'll find us with the same terrible flaws and wonderful minds. So I like humans the same I like dwarves, don't you worry.
Which party do you think will win the election?
Barry and Norvik, the nationalists are in the clear lead, and it'll be until election day.
Oh really? So you don't believe in the Asgal victory?
He laughs. An Asgal victory we've already had, Mr. Cityman. The Workers' Party will always get upwards of a fifth of the popular vote. 20%. Three Striders are a bit over 20, and the Nationalists are about a quarter. Maybe 30% if they're lucky. Our current goal is to use these last few days to surpass the Free Striders, to limit their oppression of the working class. But the Nationalists will win the majority. This time.
We can beat them together, my dwarven brother, for Asgal. He grabs you by the uniform and gives you a full-body slam. You carry the weight of a dedicated Asgalist, gain 50 experience. Oh, damn. Your body is in shock from the force, but you can take it.
For Asgal.
That's all I wanted to know.
Okay, Mr. Cityman.
What if I shut down this entire operation? He glares at you for a moment. Then he bursts into laughter.
Mr. Cityman, I can say many things about you, but unfunny is not one of them.
Yeah, a joke.
Huh. Good one.
He taps you on the shoulder. If you really want to shut them down, just go report their location to the Free Striders. Duh.
If you try anything, any magic, we will break you. So stay on our good side, Mr. Cityman.
He's joking. A bit. He is not joking. That's all for now. Oh shit, okay, so they were known... So the elf was known for them. Let's talk with this person. Smee.
Hey.
Dwarf mutters his greeting with the impact of a growing flower. You and me should be friends.
Okay.
That was easy. If only everyone was this agreeable. Give him a fist bump. He slowly joins your fist with his own. Thanks, brother.
Yeah.
He looks around, then nods. You've confused him.
You're running goddamn circles around him.
You sure fit a lot of dwarves in this tiny apartment.
Yeah, it's a lot. It should only be 5 or so. How many are here now? Et, dva, tre.
He looks around and taps his finger to count.
Fira, fem, sex. Yeah, maybe a few too many right now,
but it's just until the election, so it's fine. Et, dva, tre. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm guessing, because I know some of these languages in-game are parallel to real-world languages like Swedish and Polish, so I'm wondering if this is Swedish. So, oh, this is your apartment. Yes, I'll have to clean up afterwards. What do you know about the tea shop? Nothing, really. He grunts and gestures towards Alphaz. Ask the foreman. Hey, Alphaz, Smee says you know something incriminating about the tea shop. No, I did not, foreman. Ah, right. What are you yelling about? Stop messing around. Alphaz sure is a bit sensitive, isn't he? Wink at Smee. No, he's not. He nods. He nods, nervously. What are you voting in the election? Election? Workers' Party. Interesting choice. Why? I work for them. So just... That's a mediocre reason. Oh. Are you not going to ask me what I'm voting for? He looks at you for a long while. His rocky, endless wasteland of a face does not move an inch. Then he opens his mouth and mutters. Okay. I'm voting for the Greens. Okay. Did not have a lot to say, this guy. Visual propaganda. Behold, the bathroom. It's surprisingly clean inside. Okay, so now I want to engage with this thing. The machine hums in the corner. The copper press. A wonder of the late arcane era. Look over the machinery. It's humming along. They keep it running, since it's usually a hassle to get the Mago engine going. This girl's exchanging some parts. Probably tinkering with the autopress plates. It's time-consuming to set a copper press up for a print, but once it's going, it can go forever. Or until it runs out of ink. How does the thing work, like actually? A series of thin copper plates, or wafers, are magically configured to align with the alignment pages. This process takes time, and stacking the wafers in the right order, and making sure the pages are lined up properly can take many test prints. I'm not gonna... Thank you for your time, printer. Funny. Belt of Dwarven kind. Ooh. I am not going to pickpocket this item, because I'm not going to steal from them. Alright, well, fair to say we've gotten a fair amount of that, so that's good. That did not take as long as I thought it would. Alright. So next we head to Water Lane, because we can get that ink. And it is in-game almost 130. Framed article titled Octavio Durelius, Hero of Water Lane. The rug is a fake frunk fram. How very glib. Down to the docks. Wait. No, I meant to behold. To the roof of the HQ. So that's probably where the hippogriff is. Here's Vera again. We talked to her briefly when we were talking with the dwarves. Her belief is weak. She does not use it. Her religion is power. Okay. Wait, what the fuck? A guy. He keeps shuffling about. The hell? You look into the flames of the fire pit. A smoke mephit? Mephit. An elemental spirit formed by primal energies. They are known to be selfish and violent, yet useful when captured by controlling magic, or given the right incentive. A hissing voice calls out to you. Did your mother ever tell you, it's rude to stare? Oh shit, look closer. Squat down and look closer. Your eyes adjust to the brightness of the fire. A figure lies upon the lit timber, like a puff of smoke materialized into a solid chunk. It is a mephit, a primal spirit. This one appears to be made out of smoke and heat. I apologize.
Good. You know your place. I'm Tinnitul. Terrible to meet you.
Lovely to meet you as well. I am...
Don't care.
It interrupts you. It looks back and forth between you and Snell.
I'm in charge here, so don't do anything nasty or I'll report you to the Tusk Lady.
Tusk Lady. Amazing. Your goblin companion squints into the fire. Then he whispers to you, I hate these things. So you're like a guardian spirit to this place or what?
Something like that. I'm only obliged to attack you if you actually steal something.
Oh, really? Test this little guy. You should push. I'll keep that in mind.
Yeah, you better.
Is there something I can do to get you to look the other way?
Look, I'm bound here, you know. Only higher orders would allow me to look the other way.
Higher orders? It sighs. A puff of smoke wisps into the air.
If you were an elemental lord or something, that'd change things. But you're not, so...
Danger, fear, pain. Prove that you are a worthy elemental lord by sticking your hand in the fire. DC 12, I think I could do it. Yeah, why not? Double 4s. Oh my god. Shield. Your skin is a shield. A thin shield. Take off your right glove.
Huh?
With a shaky hand, you reach forth. Into the flames. Scream and reach back. The intense pain of searing flames makes it impossible to hold it in the fire. You see the smoke creature cackling wildly, rolling around on the timber.
Holy hells, aren't you just absolutely insane? What do you think was gonna happen, idiot?
I just thought it wouldn't hurt.
You're hilarious.
Okay, I give up.
Figured.
Keep staring closer. It stares back for a moment. Then it blows a puff of ashy smoke in your face.
What the hell? Don't stare.
Cool. Okay, so they just have a perpetual smoke spirit. Alright, well, time to spam a bunch of cardamom treats. There we go. Huh? A mirror with something behind it. You approach the mirror, realizing that Vera is watching you quite closely. But taking a quick glance, you see there is surely a hidden safe behind this mirror. Interesting. I'll have to come back when Vera isn't around. That's probably what those Norvik guys are supposed to be looking for. Okay. Actually, hold on. I'm going to see if I can get them to go away from the roller mill. So we have a quest to help out with the retrieval of ink. And it's still raining. There's the crab that pinched us when we first met. Approach the ladder, climb the ladder. And I'm going to quick save in case something doesn't work out here.
Lord Cleric.
He nods. Don't you guys have... This is an illegal organization conspiring against the city. The large kid perks up. Yes, it is. You're leaving one way or another. Son of a bitch. Yeah, I did this whole thing before. Jesus Christ!
tell us what to do. You're an agent of corruption. The city doesn't need you.
Missing completely. You tremble. The violent youths surround you. You must be careful. Okay. Dumbass! You'll all end up in the dungeon if you keep this bullshit up. Good. Now, the four boys all look at you. Fear and a bit of respect. Do it. Guide them to the future. Now go. Leave. He waves his hand.
You know what? Let's just go, guys. The cleric is a lost cause.
The lanky kid closes his fist, turning off his readied firebolt. The big kid just nods and doesn't look at you. The quiet kid just shakes his head. You watch the boys exit the roller mill one by one, until they no longer linger among the turning cogs.
Well, you got them to leave. That's something.
You think I did good, Snell?
I think you did what you had to do.
He's too kind. Well, because, like, here's the thing. We found the other option was literally having them sign up for the city guard, and with their current belief system, I would not want that whatsoever. Alright, so we did that. Where is that quest line at? Norvikian Resistance, here we go. Take root. Humans arrived on Jor as slaves. Huh? The dragons took us, as we were the ideal followers. Powerful, loyal, honorable. Unlike them. I wish I was a slave to a big dragon. Cool dragon MILF. No! Do not even utter such gull shit! The dragons required cattle, worshippers, flesh to work their fields and fill their hoards. We were delivered via gates, each of us from a different world, with different myths, varying skin colors, unique cultures, all of us human. This united us. This was our strength against those filthy lizards. Today, it is imperative we do not lose that sovereignty, the Macht, which has been constructed tirelessly over the course of centuries. Macht, dwarven word meaning approximately something akin to power or control. That which was ruthlessly ruined by the Arcanists. We lost everything all thanks to them. I wish I was an Arcanist. An unimaginable tragedy. Doug Doolin Dim shoved his blade into the heart of Tisserel Danor. Yeah, I think that's it. Tisserel Danor. From that moment on, mankind relished in their dominance of Old Deminor. Man built kingdoms. Man received the blessings of multiple gods. More gods than most folk had ever seen in written history. Man followed wise philosopher kings. In that, we grew strong. It was not until half a millennia later, after half a century of Mako conflict, that it all crumbled into dust. But you descend from those few who disavowed the carnage. You descend from Earthfolk, those pure-hearted men who listened to Earth's promise of a free kingdom in Ascan and rode the waves west. Those were the men who built the Great Old. Those are the men who carry humanity to modernity, following their good, pure, strong, and eternally wise God King, Earth. He was overrated. No. Your body refutes that statement, on a purely instinctual level. His spirit lives on in you, in your flesh, your soul, as the last of mankind. What about the humans who remained in Old Deminor, or Reeds, I mean? After waves of weaponized plagues, curse bombs, and rogue construct armies, only small parts of a few enclaves survived. Those scattered humans banded together to reform city-states in the rubble. But the Freestrider menace rose alongside them. But Freestriderism is a human idea, isn't it? That is what they want you to think. In order to refill the ranks of empty industries, the so-called liberators of the free cities opened all the borders. They made citizenship a commodity. They invited everyone into their fallen lands. Within a few decades, humans became a minority in Reeds. The acreage not permanently ruined by magic were The acreage not permanently ruined by magic were repurposed by folk from all around the coast, as well as those barbaric creatures living on the borderlands. Ask any man in the East, and he will tell you, my people have no state. We are stateless.
Why is that a bad thing?
In a democratic governorship, a rule by the masses and their cultural ideals and thoughts, it is the minority who suffer and the majority who conquers. As humans lost their majority in reeds, the free cities those humans left also lost control over their own destiny. Free striders seek prosperity, yes, but at the cost of sovereignty.
What are the Free Striders doing in Norvik, then?
They are stabbing you. One blade at a time. Sometimes a tiny cut, a simple graze. But now, as their election looms, you can feel it. A plunge deep into your flesh. The last piece of humanity left in the realm. So, yes, think it through. Everything inside yourself, that which makes you a man, tells you that.
We don't deserve to be a majority. We gave that up when we destroyed ourselves in the Coast War.
Sadly, it is true. We must nourish a new type of man. One that is loving and kind, and welcoming to everyone that is different. We must. You Asgul fool! This is a debate of the body. The mind should be left in the gutters, along with the rest of its rotting crevices filled with degenerate propaganda. Earth built a land for mankind to rule, to govern, to hold as their own. Everyone else is a visitor or a guest. We, the human people, are its owners. Fuck off. As such, we must hold our ground. We must bear that weight. We must defend the city.
Oh, come on. You think you're some true Norvikian? You're not even fully human, you hairy fuck.
The vast majority of your flesh is earthfolk, to the bone.
Oh, so we're part human, part something else, probably part dwarf.
Yes, okay. Then there's a tiny part of honorable dwarf, yes.
So that's okay then, just as long as it's a statistically negligent amount of foreign blood.
Exactly.
Sure, whatever. You want to be anti-Free Strider? Go ahead. Might as well just...
Kingly blood. What? Blood of kings.
The fuck?
Hold on, listen to it. You know, each vein points in the direction of greatness. Each limb an extension of something untold, as is forecalled by eras and sagas of old. Chaos lies in the nature of man, only kept in check by the state, which tendrils the land. Digging, rooting, gripping, holding. Your uneasy stomach rumbles at the thought of the world outside your control. You must make things right, the only way you know. To sit atop the monster. Ride the beast of yore. Become Leviathan apparatus.
Tell me more about defend the city.
Protect the innocent. To be the hero you were meant to be.
Defend the city alters ability score modifiers on helmets. Positive modifiers get +1 and negative modifiers get -1. True Norvikian. Yeah, not sure exactly what this masturbatory nationalistic fantasy is all about. But sure, be a pure-blooded human if you really want to. Go flex in a damn mirror or whatever. Roll initiative with strength if it's higher than your dexterity. Huh. And tell me about Leviathan apparatus.
Strangle the chaos. Take hold of the beast that is the realm.
Enemies always roll initiative with disadvantage.
We have not run into many fights lately, but that's a fucking good feat.
Right,
Be a man. Stand tall.
Leviathan apparatus.
Be one with the land, a master of his own domain. In full control.
I was not going to go for those other two. Because, yeah, like that, straight up, that was jorking his own shit off as dexterity so perfectly put it. What the fuck is that? Wait, hold on.
The cogs keep spinning, but you notice something. A shiny red thing stuck to the inner part of the top wheel. You approach the cog, and the sticky red thing stuck to it. Grab the sticky red thing stuck to the clogs without losing your fingers. Son of a bitch. You swipe in a hand, and pull it back. Pull it back, now. That doesn't seem to do anything. What? It's stuck. What? Yeah, this is bad. Scream, howl, shout. Your fingers! Your God's be damned fingers! Get pulled down. The pain blinds you, but you feel it. The fall hit the ground. Well, you're alive. Somehow. Get up. That was fucking awful. But it was so close. Cleric, what the hell? The goblin lets out an exasperated groan. Be more careful, okay? Master hurt. Meek must get good at spotting iron threat. Meek assume Master is not going to put hand into grinding machine. Yeah, next time don't fall down. Whisper to your scarf. Always assume the worst, expect terrible, and feel the heat. Next time? Come on, you gotta try that again, don't you? Yeah. Don't tell him that. Make well. You have the giant cog alone. Alright, well, fuck, that stung. I'm gonna save that healing potion for something else, but... I need something to increase my dex. Don't I have something? Wisdom, charisma... Constitution... 1 to dexterity... but I don't want to take Meek off of me. I like Meek. Constitution, strength... Constitution... Strength minus... I do not have a lot of dex items. Okay, this is a dex item. Alright, well, let's heal ourselves. Thanks. Alright. Let's try that again. So what the hell is this thing? -1 DC, Meek. Oh my god. Well... Still the same deal. Alright, I guess I'll come back to that later. Alright, so we have Dragon of Tolstad still. We have... Okay, so all that's really left is the... Well, we have the milk delivery quest, but that's an early in the day thing to do, so we'll hold off on that. But I want to go find that warehouse to do the thing. Could also talk to Vera since she's there. Oh, excuse me, I had to stretch my neck a little bit. And actually... what did I have on before? Oh, wait, I lost dexterity because of that. I was stupid. Okay, I've got 14 health, so I think... What would be the DC now? Because I was stupid. I forgot I had the lockpick on me.
Okay, that's where I do it. DC lowered by 1 still, because Meek helped. We'll return later. All right, in we go. We're going to go talk to Vera at the Free Striders, or find out where that warehouse is, because I want to get that ink for the Asgals, and then after that, that's when we'll go into the city below. All right. The orc stands among fancy furniture. A crackling fireplace lights up her face as you approach. Welcome to the Ascani Reed Trading Company, cleric.
It is the orc lady again. Beware her manipulation.
Yes, and also, tell her she looks lovely. Hello, agent. How's the Free Strider going? That's not a verb I usually hear, but it's going well. We're currently deep in paperwork with a new partner. A lot of work. She walks over to the desk, grabbing a piece of paper.
It could be a good idea to search the guild warehouse below.
Not only to find some goodies, but also to check what's going on in and out of the city. This wonderful Free Strider lady is the one who decides who comes and goes, so talk her into letting you enter the warehouse.
If you ask that, she will think you mean something very different.
It seems you were correct in the end. Your diplomatic efforts ended with the dwarves not holding their little rally. So, well done. Not the win you were hoping for, I suppose, but I did solve the problem. You should have listened to me earlier. What's done is done. Now can we get to business? Fair enough.
She is holding back rage. Deep rage.
Of course, I'm very busy. We're currently deep in paperwork with a new partner. A lot of work.
She is clearly terribly angry at you still.
Don't make this any worse, will you? Snell whispers to you. I have some questions. Oh, I'm afraid I don't have time right now, cleric. Perhaps you could book a meeting. I'd love to help, of course.
When are you available?
How about March 29th?
That's all the way after the election.
I am sorry, but I'm really just swamped here.
She has no intention of having a meeting with you.
You're gonna have to turn on the charm if you ever want to get anything out of her now.
This is what happens when you make an enemy of a Free Strider.
I want to search the warehouse. Oh, do you? We can arrange that after the election, of course. Like I said, things are just very busy right now. Another excuse. She's good at this. You're not actually busy, are you? Or are you just mad at me? She drops her smile. Mad? I suppose I disagree with your methods, cleric, but I promise you, I am a professional. I do not let petty things like that get in the way. Okay? Good. Let's talk later. That's all for now.
Let's see, the charisma helm. Do I have anything else that boosts charisma?
No, not that, not that. Definitely not that.
Okay. Let's go with that.
We're gonna quick save. I almost hit 5 instead of F5. That is not the key. She gives you a short smile. Still terribly angry. All right. There we go. Okay, it's time to solve this. Smooth talking style. So, like manipulation. Something like that. Just give her a little something, then she'll give in.
Vera.
Yes? And make it clear that it's a good deal for both parties.
The Ascani Reed Trading Company can stand to gain a lot from my help.
Can it?
Yes, as I can from yours. Lean in.
Well, from what I saw up there, the deal with the dwarves worked out in my favor for a number of reasons, but that was a different deal. Right now, we can both stand to gain. She glares at you, looking you up and down. Then her gaze softens. She sighs. Perhaps there is time. I assist you, you assist me. Is that right? Deal. Deal. So what do you want, cleric? I'm not no. Hey, can I have that spell scroll over there? Oh, that? Just a little something left behind by my superior during his latest visit. Don't touch it, please. Okay, I have a mimic. That's... She drops her smile. Sorry? Master talk about meek? Ahoy, ahoy. Her jaw drops. Then her fists go up. No, he's not strangling me or anything. He's just helping me. Meek shove, Master. Master is great. She shakes her head as if dazed by the visuals. I see. I've not heard of a tame mimic before. She lowers her fists, slowly. He's very tame, docile even. Meek is nice. Tell that to the Pest Control Guild. Well, cleric, you're full of surprises. But please keep that thing, hidden around here, just in case we get any guests. About the tea shop owner. One greasy bird, but he's good at his job. What about him? What do you know about him? He's a yobu, speaks through those mimicry voices. We've worked with him in the past. There was some kind of conflict with the ownership of his property at one point with the HWBT. It was resolved. Where can I find him? No clue. Never mind, another question. Well then, I need access to the guild warehouse. Of course, we could have that arranged. It would take some time, of course, security clearance and such. Unless, I suppose it could be sped up if you were to help me out in the matter I'm dealing with at the moment. Would you be interested? I can hear it out. Great! She walks over to a drawer and pulls out several papers. I've got a perfect task for a strong cleric like yourself.
Huh. Yeah, you are.
She stuffs the yellow documents in your hand. AEFAS. AFAs. AFA? AEFA. An Ascani Economic Freestrider Accord. We've been unable to hand them out previously due to a number of legal reasons that are being stripped away once if we land in a good position of the future government. So, in preparation, we're opening talks with a number of local entrepreneurs. Having these handed out by an official cleric would make the process a lot more official, however, greatly expediting the process. At least our numbers seem to indicate that folk are much more agreeable to city officials than our own staff. I'm guessing you can assume why. You want me to hand out pamphlets? Oh no, she taps the documents in your hand. These are legal documents showing every clause in the local EFA. Very generous terms that will greatly assist the local corporations in growth, revenue, and stability. We're not all talk, you know. We do actually support local infrastructure and business, quite heavily. And the first step is getting those businesses to actually join our accord. So you want me to hand out contracts? Yes, mostly for them to take a look at. Once we get 3 Tolstad businesses on a paper, we'll have met our pre-election quota. That will make my boss very happy. That would make me very happy.
3 businesses, huh?
Yes, of course, if you want to deliver them to more, just go ahead. The businesses needed to be established but not necessarily registered. The businesses need to be established but not necessarily registered. If you're not sure, you can hand them out anyway. Off the top of my head, I can recommend Viskin's Lich House and the Drunk Sphinx, of course.
Lich House, a mortuary. A holding space for dead bodies. During the times of undeath, they are known to be heavily guarded.
But I'm sure you can find more. She winks. Come back once you've handed them out. I'll be sure to return the favor.
Any news about the tea shop?
She sighs and grabs an envelope on the table. Darrow put a stop to any official investigation. He even had his guardian angel place an arcane lock on the entryway.
You mean a tear?
Yes, his celestial pet.
She's no pet, she's a powerful woman.
Powerful, yes. Woman, though? I think that definition might be stretched. I've had the displeasure to deal with her a few times here on Tolstad. Ever since she was handed the reins of Coin Lord Lapdog. She seems to enjoy mocking us, lesser creatures, coming off almost petty. Strange behavior for such a transcendent creature. She adjusts her posture. Now, she opens the envelope and reads for you. Bystanders suffer minor injuries. No real casualties found after a quick search of the premises. The flames were put out within the hour. Eyewitnesses indicate the flames appeared alongside a loud explosion. A few unnamed peoples also mentioned the flames were blue for a short moment. Blue flames, huh? The rest goes along with our info. Good to have it corroborated. Where'd you hear all this? She smiles. We have our sources too, my friend.
Blue flames. You're not the first to mention that to me.
Indeed. Clearly it indicates some type of magical origin. Sorry, I mean esoteric. Esoteric origin, she winks.
Call it whatever you want, but it sure came from a spell. She nods. And you didn't have any of these witnesses recorded?
None, I'm afraid. We heard the Halfways had one direct witness who identified himself. A frank fellow. But we found nothing more on that thread.
The goblin mutters something to himself. He says, that stupid fucking name, along with some profanities you do not wish to hear.
How quick was the search afterwards? She smirks. Apparently only 10 minutes.
Damn, that's quick.
What's more interesting is that the official report does not mention any lead investigator, apart from Darrow himself and the militia org.
Oh, so it was like cut and dry, like... Oh, so it sounds like they didn't even do a thorough job. Like, we did a more thorough job looking over things.
So my guess is they just didn't do anything after the militia put out all the flames and secured the structure.
They can't just do nothing.
Clearly they can.
She does not care, but she is intrigued. Thank you for the info. Tell me about the Freestriders.
You want to know more about the Freestriders? Just in general?
Yes, please fill me up on knowledge.
Okay then, go ahead and ask.
What is the Freestrider ideology?
Good question. You want the short answer or you want the long answer or the short answer?
3 words or less. Let's go long.
The Freestrider ideal is a dream of democratic rule and freedom for all. In the wake of Arcanist oppression, the folk of Reeds banded together and put a stop to the fighting, establishing republics along the coast and around the lake. They sought democracy, the choosing of their own fate, built upon personal liberty and freedom. I'd say that's a good summary of the Freestrider ideal.
Where does it come from?
The Freestrider movement? It originated in Old Dominor, towards the end of the Coast War. It's said that soldiers spread the word to one another, even between opposing armies. Eventually, once the magical powers waned, the common folk managed to rebel. So you could say it's all a big response to Arcanist tyranny and the oppressive force of magocracy.
Sounds like tyranny replaced with tyranny.
Any governmental force is tyrannic to some degree, but I'd say out of all the forms of rule tried, the Freestrider Republic is the least worst one.
Freestriderism is the only way forward, obviously. Every other form of rule has led to complete chaos and/or less fortunate conditions for literally everyone involved. The Reedsian dream is possible. It's coming. It's here. The problem is that they're all about continuous capital and stomping on anybody else if they don't have anything attached to a price tag. I don't like the Freestriders.
Well, please, do go on.
She crosses her arms and leans back. Shit! Abort! Abort! She won't like you if you say something negative about this ideology.
Why don't you like the Freestriders?
The Freestriders are just lining the pockets of rich merchants. The common folk get nothing out of it. They're invading sovereign states by using imperial tactics with overwhelming wealth creation, because they're in the way of becoming immortal dictator wizard king of Norvik. Honestly, it's both of these.
But line the pockets of merchant, common folk get nothing. You sound just like an Asgal.
I am an Asgal.
Sure.
I just got half dwarf, be an Asgal 12 times. Okay, so yeah, the Sovereign States one was the other one, but was like the more Norvik answer. But I mean, that's true. You know, capital will continuously try to grow, and by continuous growth, they then look to other people to try and essentially marketize all of their resources and just clean them out. You know? Like, as we said earlier, it is another form of tyranny.
Her smile causes you to falter at the knee area.
That's all the questions I have about free striding for now.
Okay, happy to share.
Her eyes say, please don't use it as a verb.
What's the thing in the fireplace?
I'm not a thing. Don't mind him, he's harmless. I don't know exactly how he came over the contract, but I believe it was a Karmageshian fellow who handed it over. A smoke mephit got, almost said spirit, smoke mephit. It keeps track of unwanted visitors. So don't touch anything, cleric, unless you like getting seared.
She smiles, her tusks gleam.
Tell me about the griffin on the roof.
Griffin on the roof? The orc laughs at your words. That really sounds like a magazine tale. I swear I've read it at some point.
It really does.
Right? Technically, the griffin is not allowed to use our building as a nest. However, by sheer happenstance, it has become one of the many unwritten and unofficial exceptions around here. I have simply learned to make do, as one does.
Who owns it?
One of our temporary guests. A high-ranking member of the Free Striders come to visit for the election. One of those types.
And it just sleeps here all day?
For now. I've heard he'll be heading out after the election. Can't wait.
Is it annoying to deal with?
Yes. Though the real answer to that involved describing griffin droppings, and I'd prefer to keep away from that.
Can I fly on it?
I'd recommend not, entirely for the sake of your own health. Unless you've got somewhere to fly off to.
Damn it, I don't. If I did, I'd totally try it.
Somehow I could imagine.
It's all about the griffin.
Yes, let's leave it at that.
Vera is avoiding answering many things about this creature. For one, because she does not wish to think about it. For second, because she is not allowed to say anything about its owner. Bureaucratic reasons, sure.
Yeah, it's bureaucracy too. So, eternal capital equal bad. Can I have that spell scroll?
Oh, that? Just a little something left behind. Don't touch it.
One more about you.
My favorite topic.
What should I ask her?
About her past. You can manipulate her.
It's awfully empty in here. Do you have any colleagues?
Certainly. I'm only second in command here on Tolstad. First is Agent Durelius.
There we go.
First is Agent Durelius. He is currently off securing votes with the Tolstad guilds, leaving me alone here to helm the ship.
Her expression changes, hardens. She does not like this guy one bit.
And who is this Durelius?
Octavio Pompus Durelius, my wonderful superior.
Her words drip with acid. Long name. You need to compete with this guy, clearly.
Just one colleague?
No. Him and his horde of interns.
Horrific practice. It should be illegal not to pay your employees like that.
Well, not a horde per se. More like 3 to 4 people in rotation.
Yeah, that's a... Wisdom brings up a good thing. If you're having to do an internship for your degree, you know, for any kind of thing you're doing, don't go for an unpaid internship. That is just straight up a scam for free labor. Don't do that to yourself.
I'm getting a feeling you don't like this fellow. You picked up on that, did you? You picked up on that, did you?
She gives you a light laugh.
He's a bit of a dick. The type to talk circles around with whatever buzzword he's been taught to use instead of a practical language. The type who, in an attempt to sound professional, ends up turning into an archdevil of the deepest hell. You could spend an hour in a meeting with him and go mad as he walks around facts and direct solutions in favor of whatever makes him look more superficially intelligent.
Oh, God. He's a regurgitator. Oh, that's... Oh...
She sighs. But if things go well, after the election, he might be up for promotion. That'd leave me in first in command.
Sounds like petty bullshit to me. Your brazen words make her chuckle.
Office intrigue always is. But don't worry, I'll fix all of that once I'm in charge.
Confident girl.
Gods, she's hot.
What does securing votes mean in this context? Also, ad break starting in 4 minutes.
Can't say. Industry secrets, you know?
She winks. She winks a lot, this one. I have some other questions, not about your buddies. Did I mention how I really appreciate your appearance attempt to flirt? What exactly do you do for the Ascani Reeds Trading Company?
I make sure the flow of goods remains efficient and uninterrupted by local shenanigans. I also represent the organization as a member in the Free Strider Party as well, which makes it a lot more interesting.
What's your favorite color?
Red. Like blood.
She gives you a sinister smile. She's very charming. What's your mother's maiden name?
Why do you ask?
I read in a book once that's a good question to break the ice.
You read?
Don't sound so impressed, orc. She's mocking you.
But there's no need to break the ice. We're already talking, cleric. I did not know my mother. I was born into Feltir JT, a journeyman tribe, where children are raised collectively. We made scissors. That's my special blood talent. My fate, as it were. I didn't like it in the factory, so I left the Blood City Bay. Blood
City Bay, the most populated city around the coast, built upon the corpse of Gregorian the Great and Terrible, a sprawling mess of wood walkways and buildings carved out of the calcified remains, once famous for its fleet of airships deployed during the Coast War. Known as the origin of the Industrial Revolution, while New Tazen has overtaken it as the leader in manufacturing, it still stands as one of the most industrious city-states.
Oh, so a city built on the corpse of a god? That sounds fucking metal!
Industrial Revolution, a period of rapid technological, esoteric, and social change that began in Old Dominor between 270 and 340 AE. It marked the shift from agrarian magic-based and handcraft economies to industrialized and mechanized production. This transformation revolutionized manufacturing, transportation, and urban life, laying the foundation for the modern industrial world.
I joined a war band. A few, actually. Learned to be smart. Eventually ended up in Reeds, where my true talents were recognized.
Scissors? Orcs are the original factory workers.
Hold on a second. What?
Scissors?
Oh, I apologize. I should clarify. Verorokseg. Gifted by blood. Each orcish clan was given a speciality by the Queen Mother. My clan's gift was the magical affinity for making amazing scissors.
A working people. Factory people. That is what the Arcanists used to call orcs. Every factory in Feltire was human-run during the Arcane Era. The orc was under terrible oppression. That's ridiculous.
Yes, it is.
Anyway, so literally her entire family bloodline's ability is just making really good scissors.
The revolution was already gone when I joined. So once I realized I missed all the real action, I ended up taking a job to spread the word. I spent a season in Vorgeni at first, but I never clicked with the locals. So Norvik it was. And now I'm here.
She bows her head in a formal fashion.
Anything else you wanted to ask?
All right, well, we're about to go into our ad break, so before more questions, we'll go into 3 minutes of ads with an hour of no pre-rolls after. So hydrate, stretch, do whatever you need to do, and we'll be right back. And we're back. Thank you for your patience. All right. How strong are you?
Strong enough.
She smirks. Whom do you wear?
Oh, this old rag? The outfit is an AR import, originally designed by Fruk Thram, I hear. Although these are obviously just a factory knockoff. Reliable, though.
All right, no more personal questions.
Good thing. What about you? You holding up all right? No. Aw, sad to hear. Alright, that's all for now. So, essentially, pass out a bunch of business pamphlets, then I gain access to the warehouse, and then after access to the warehouse, I can get the ink needed. I guess we can go to Visken first. I really wish... Isn't there a fast travel or something? Spellbook, journal... I really wish there was. That'd be handy. The whispers get louder. It says something to you, something weird. No, wait. It's a conversation. One you don't take part in. Guess you can try to join in. Alright. Speak. Hello? The goblin perks up. Not me, sorry. The pillar vibrates. Hello. The whisper lies inside of you, or something. It says he is here. Who's here? It says divinity. It says death. It says necrocrat. What? The voice ends. Your hand is repelled from the surface. Ouch. Weird. You understand plainly. There's more to this pillar you need to investigate. In time. And further below. Finish up. Talk to you. The Sphinx takes a sip from the wine barrel. What if I... Hold... Does Snell affect the... You listened well about men. DC 25. Yeah. Okay, so I have to wait until midnight. I was wondering if she could get the contract, but we'll just go to Visken to start. This woman's slightly annoyed. It's heckin' boring. Hey, Combo, how's it going? Hope you're doing well. Hope you're staying cool in this heat. It's been really damn hot today, and what hasn't helped is that I was cooking today, too, so that made my apartment really warm. I don't think I have any new dialogue with this guy. Doing alright? Good. Glad to hear it. Yes? Here's this thing from the Free Striders. Oh. He lifts it slightly, reading the text. An economic accord? How quaint. I have to hand them out to help Agent Vera. I know very well about the free way of business in the East. I have no interest in dealing with these methods unless I am forced to in the event of a governmental shift, which, considering you have been instructed in handing these out, is most likely exactly what is going to happen. Thus, I will indeed most likely sign this in the end. You don't sound too happy about that. Does he ever sound happy? It is the way of things. I much prefer the rule of Earth. This so-called meritocratic, capitalistic society of reeds is based on foul bureaucracy, nothing else. I will manage it well, but in principle, I will stew in resentment. Yeah, same. Give him a fist bump. He meets your fist in the air. Then he places the paper on his desk among many other documents. Is that all? Thank you, bye. That's really funny. Yeah, so to sum up what we've had going on... Oh, wait, can I get your crossbow? Can I borrow your crossbow? Not funny. Don't push it. No. Snell gives you a stern look. Try to convince. DC 15. Better nature? Yeah, like butter him up. Be cool and shit.
And we made the fucking roll. Oh, you know exactly what to say. There's only one thing that could possibly convince this kobold that you should get the crossbow. And that is, of course, Viskin asked me to get your crossbow.
Master did.
The kobold glances over to his master. Yeah, he said I needed it more than you.
What? Why?
The kobold seems to believe you, somehow. He said you were so strong that you don't need it anymore. The kobold squints. He leans back and smirks, then nods. Here we go. Is that a kobold? Yeah, it's a kobold. The kobold reluctantly and slowly hands over his crossbow.
Master always right.
The fact that he handed it over without even asking the pale man first. Love it. With the crossbow safely in your grasp, the kobold scoffs.
Weak human. Of course you need crossbow.
Thanks. All right, so what do we get with the crossbow? Dexterity and wisdom. What does the stone bow have? Dexterity and con? We'll go with that. So yeah, that is the kobold, Ost. He serves Viskin here. Actually, funnily enough, last stream we encountered that a while ago we learned that Viskin is a lich and that he has really deep connections here in the city. And I got completely destroyed by a wraith in armor, the kobold with a crossbow, a goblin rogue, and like a crocodile person. Come back after midnight-ish. All right, well, we're gonna go. We have not talked to this person. It is you. Beware of this one. She's good at getting what she wants. You're a local entrepreneur, right? I suppose, she says and grabs the paper. Ah, one of these, I see. Not entirely sure I reach the requirements of being a local, but I suppose it can't hurt to look over the legals here. Thank you. Nice tent. Thank you. It's an old rag and a stick. Not the old-fashioned ones either. Those look modern. Yeah, I don't know what the old-fashioned kobolds look like, but that one, but Ost definitely is more the lizard kind of kobold, and not the. And okay, here's something interesting that I find funny. I mean, the bikes. Oh, yeah, the bikes. Those are old-fashioned, or those are modern-ish designs. It's not the old ones with that super giant wheel. In terms of kobold designs, though, isn't it interesting that we have lizard-like kobolds in fantasy worlds like this, but in others, you tend to see them kind of more leaning on dog-like designs, like in Delicious in Dungeon? Priceless. Right. Yeah, that's really odd. Kind of, and how orcs are more pig-like in other, in like some pieces of media, but not in others. Looks very useful on a day like this. D&D did it? Did they? I don't remember orcs ever having a pig-like appearance. Orcs have always been orcs the way they've been designed, as far as I know. If you can't handle the cold, you should not be in a Ascani. It's a powerful spell you're using to speak my language. It is. But don't worry, I am not a great wizard. It is skin picture. Oh, right. What do you call it here? You have a specific term for it. Some words do not appear to translate properly. She taps her lips and looks at you. An esoteric tattoo? Tattoo! That's the one! I paid a lot for it in Haishi. Fun fact, the inking was actually performed by a mummified frog woman. There's frog people in this world? I mean it, I would totally want a core rulebook based on the systems in this game. This is awesome. Haishi, one of the 8 bands along the coast, means either growing maw or into the air in Abyssal, a deeply cursed jungle hellscape filled with volcanic rivers, flesh-eating insects, and murderous plants. Once an elven sanctuary, now home to the demonic warlords, tiefling cities, and celestial crusaders. An Anura. They are a Anticipalian? Yeah, Anticipalian people, beasts of Jor. How much was it?
12,000 snibs. That's about 1,000 crowns if my brain calculation is correct.
Jesus Christ, 1,000 crowns for a tattoo.
Let's see. What do you know about the tea shop? She looks to her right. It is not in great condition. True. Anyway, I do not know much about as to why it became this way. I arrived in the afternoon on the day it happened, you see. So... Have you heard anything about it? Just that it exploded. But people tend to not want to speak about it much from what I've noticed. Almost like it's none of their concern. Or all of their concern. What's it like back in your homeland? Her eyes look down. My home is not in great shape, I'm afraid. There is strong inequity among planes touched. Great warlords rage across the borders to Feltire. The gem princes hold monopolies at every port. The deep cities remain in a... She stops herself from ranting. The halfling holds deep, troublesome feelings about leaving her home behind in such a state. It's a wonderful place with wonderful folk, but I wish it would be more like this place sometimes. Ascan is full of conflict as well. It is the wild band, after all. True, but just like the post-war Diminuor, god damn it, I keep mixing them up. I mean kobolds. Originally in Germany, they were dog-like, and in the 2000s D&D... Really? So they started off to be more lizard-like. Or more dog-like in the past. Interesting. And it was 3rd edition that made them lizard-like. I did not know that. So I guess, like, designs like how you see in Dungeon Meshi are more akin to how they were designed in the past. That's actually really cool to know. Even before they were more like elves, but not green or really short people. Huh. I guess that probably goes into more of like their folklore origin instead of their popular media depictions. Right? Like that... I guess that's kind of like a conflict of like what people research in the folklore versus what people tend to see in pop culture. Like if you see how a Cyclops might be designed in one particular instance because it'd be like if you had 2 different Cyclops designs because one is based on what people see in media all the time and then another based on someone actually reading Greek myth and descriptions. So it's always interesting to see that kind of difference at play when it's down to monster designs and such. Sent something? Let me see. I'll take a look at it, actually. Oh, so that's what... Okay, so yeah, they were just kind of small, kind of brownie-like creatures, like fairy folk. Interesting. So more like a fae type creature as opposed to a monster that you typically see, or a monster-ish type of creature. Interesting. But I mean, over time, folklore and creating something as a monster tends to overlap, especially if you're making a video game or something where you need enemies to fight. Like most of the stuff in The Witcher is very Slavic and like Slavic to Celtic lore and mythos, so you have a lot of those enemies that are just brought up and, either they could be benevolent or not, and either way they end up being enemies for Geralt to fight. Or befriend, whichever the two. True, but just like in post-war Diminuor, as in Reeds, there is a great order being established. One even trumping the esoteric forces at work around the coast. I hope it spreads further. That's all I wanted to ask. Do you have a license to sell your... If you can't handle the cold, you should give you a mocking laugh. I hail from Sarki Ilmunten, what you call the Windcrack Mountains. I've known cold. I'm birthed from it. But I'd say you are insane to not prefer the more temperate bands. Some parts of Reeds are positively acceptable at all times of the year. Call me insane. I love the cold. Take a deep breath. Well, there is something nostalgic about it for me. But no, you're insane, she says and gives you a wide smirk. That's what people say whenever I say that I moved out of Texas, but genuinely, if I had to deal with triple-degree summers and humidity at the same time again, I would probably melt into the pavement. I'd be new cracks that you could use for mold onto a brick wall. You have a license to sell your wares? Yes, I got it approved in this forenoon. Not the best bureaucracy I've encountered around the coast, but certainly not the slowest. Your companion gives you a quick thumbs up as you glance at him. She's cool. What are you voting in the election? I heard there was an election ongoing. I am lucky to have arrived at such an exciting time. So, what are you voting? I only just arrived, warrior. Now, I have visited Norvik a few times before, but I do not believe that constitutes for me receiving voting rights, does it? I think it should. Why not? I could see a handful of reasons as why a city should not hand out citizenship or voting rights to anyone who visits. Name 3. Okay. She thinks about it for a second. A foreign power could move their own people and undermine the locals. It would be much easier for parties to fake the existence of entire people and fudge election results. And I suppose it could lower the value of a citizenship from an emotional point of view, if nothing else. Those reasons are complete bullshit. Everyone should vote in our election. I wonder what she'll say to that. Everyone? Every single sentient creature along the coast should all come and vote in our election. That's a truly radical thought, my good warrior. I'm impressed by your open heart. As a citizen of the coast, I appreciate the sentiment. Now, if I did have voting rights, I'd vote for the Asgalists, I think. I admire the spirit of cooperation I've seen between human and dwarf. Sometimes I wish more people in my homeland shared the same values. We'll be sure to spread Asgalism far and wide once we win this election. She gives you a kind smile. I like the sound of that, warrior. Also, we learned some bits about our character, that apparently not only is our character's mother a known Asgalist figurehead, but also we're half dwarf, which is really interesting. Like, just nice to learn these little details. I really like that helmet up there. Why is it hanging on your statue, friend? Oh, that's just a warning. Last adventurer who tried to steal from me left it behind. You can buy it if you want. If you dare. Why do you call me warrior? That is what you are, is it not? Might be a bad translation. Do you prefer Dreamweaver or perhaps Holy Boy? Dreamweaver sounds awesome. Well, it is very hard to say on my end, so I'll stick with the warrior. Tell me about yourself. Oh, you want a deep dive? Lay it on me. Well, where to even begin? I've had many experiences in my travels. If it might lead you to purchase one of my items, then I will share. How difficult is it to turn a profit with a business like this? Is this this is an interview? We're kind of more or less interviewing everybody, since the story at hand is that we're investigating the destruction of a tea shop, and so now we're interviewing everybody else that might have seen something, and much like Disco Elysium, we will deep dive into a bunch of stuff with this game. And I mean elbow deep into a lot of things. Like, this game can go places. And on top of that, it has funny moments. Like, my scarf right now that I'm wearing right now is actually a mimic. Surprisingly not very. I purchase where goods are cheap and sell them in places where they are less so. It works surprisingly well, as soon as I figure out how to cheat. Cheat? My little secret is listening. Oh. I make sure to keep an ear out among travelers, merchants, sailors especially. They talk a lot when they get drunk. I met an Ascani native once in a port in Vorgeni. I think it was Listan. Over the course of an evening, I showed him 10 magic items, and I priced each at an exorbitant level. Way more than I would ever dream of selling them for, since I'd gotten them for a very little. He reacted like I was insane to each of them, except for when I showed him a minor alchemy jug that could only produce cow's milk. All of a sudden, he thought it was a great deal. I've made a fortune in my last few trips to Norvik through a dozen of those jugs alone.
I mean, listen, an ever-producing jug of milk actually is not that bad. Like that, keep that shit refrigerated. That's actually not bad. Jug of infinite milk. Oh man, that just means like no problems with cereal, no problems with any kind of baking. Like that really is something interesting because most of the time with magic items, like it's always something to go for like the really powerful weapons and armor and rings and rods and staves and such. But how nice would it be just to have some very utilitarian-based magic? Like, oh, I have this spice bottle that's enchanted to always produce chipotle powder. Or I've got this spice bottle that's just eternally cumin. Or, hey, I've got a kitchen knife that's not good for combat but does not dull, so I don't have to worry about sharpening it ever. Or, I don't know. Or like a bar towel that never gets soaked up, or that never gets completely wet. SCP-458, Infinite Pizza Box. See, there's another one, Infinite Pizza Box. Actually, funnily enough, I mentioned this before, but I'm listening to a book called Agnes Albert's Mystical Cat Shelter, and there's a sequence in that book where the main character is just sitting in a fireplace near a stove, and she's got a cat on her lap, and she's just ruminating about the past. And throughout the book, you're always told about this weird baked goods smell that's happening throughout the cat shelter, because she takes up residence where a baker was, and she's like, what is that smell? Where's it coming from? And then it turns out the oven got enchanted by a magician to always produce baked goods out of it by midnight. When you hold on to the box, it manifests your favorite pizza and toppings. Oh, that's dangerous. I would have so many jalapeno sausage pizzas. I would have so many. Jalapeno sausage and onion, actually. Jalapeno sausage onion pizza. That'd be the perfect... Oh, yeah. Like eternal baked good oven. And apparently the reason why it even exists is because the previous resident of the building was well liked enough for his desserts that the magician was like, I miss this guy's desserts, so I'm gonna... And it was like a very accidental thing that had happened. So it's a good listen so far, because it takes place in like an alternate universe world where magicians exist, and they're kind of considered more of a nuisance as opposed to anything with a societal foothold. Kind of like the equivalent of people with spray cans, you know, like they're considered, I mean, as I just said, more of a nuisance by the people, if anything, because the magicians have duels that will destroy property. In fact, there's some sequences, in fact, literally the tipping point in the book that has the main character looking for a new cat shelter to hold up in is that a magician duel destroyed her old one. It's nice when your shit slaps so much magicians try to recreate it. Yeah, I picture like Felonious Magebeard IV eats into an eclair in a tavern or something and goes,
I say, this eclair is absolutely fucking bussing. I'm going to create an enchantment where you can make these eclairs round the clock without any interference to deal with the oven.
And just suddenly you have a bunch of eclairs coming out all the time. Or bread pudding. Oh, fuck, I love bread pudding. I had a really good bread pudding yesterday. Actually, chat, what's your usual go-to dessert if you've got one? Typically with desserts, I don't tend to go for baked goods a whole lot because I'm trying to not eat too many of those. But if I ever got the choices, bread pudding is up there for me alongside coffee cake. Like coffee cake, bread pudding, or lemon poppy seed bread. Ugh, fuck me up with that. The goblin can barely contain his laughter.
I love that story.
Do you come to Norvik often?
In the last year, a few times. It's been a very profitable route for me. But I will be going further soon, since, well, I've yet to get my circumnavigation blessing.
Circumnavigation blessing. Any individual who completes a full turn around the coast is rewarded with an esoteric boon, suspected to be from Jor himself. This usually grants the user the ability to cast the cantrip Prestidigitation at will. A very convenient but difficult to master transmutation cantrip. It can do pretty much anything from heating tea or cleaning clothes to create minor sensory effects or temporary objects. It's extremely versatile, and a talented user is able to wield it into even greater forms of usefulness. Yeah, Prestidigitation's pretty useful. One of the players at my Pathfinder campaign was using it to make signs underwater when needing to talk, since, you know, you may have a potion of water breathing or something on your person and using it, but that doesn't mean you can talk underwater, because at the point of that, it's just going to come out like... Is it really worth the trouble?
Possibly not.
She holds out her hand and creates a sparkling blue mist to appear above it.
I already know Prestidigitation, of course, so it's entirely for the fun of it. A personal achievement, if you will. So we'll see when I get around to it. But I've heard how difficult it can be to pass EAM these days, so I'll be looking forward to the challenge. I've never even been to Western Divinitorum either. Exciting.
How do you travel?
By ship. Almost exclusively. Sometimes I serve as a boat mage, joining vessels with more broader shipments than my little trinkets. But I've traveled a lot with unaligned sailors as well. It's usually a bit more fun that way, albeit more dangerous also. One time I joined a crew of maw pirates, I swear I was this close to being either a dinner sacrifice or the Nalfeshni in charge.
Gotta learn more of these terms.
But when I used a powerful wind transmutation to save the ship from sinking in a rough storm, all of a sudden I was the guest of honor. Wouldn't do it again, though. Demons make for the worst pirates. All chaos and no fun.
What's your view on the Clanland troubles?
My view?
She looks around her shoulder.
Off the record?
Off the record. Yeah, so halflings have a Clanlands problem where apparently a hive mind of angels has taken over them and essentially is putting them under an indentured statehood situation.
In that case, I'm entirely sympathetic. The Fort Nimp Commonwealth has been broken in half, thousands subjugated into a hostile foreign invading nation. My people fought for their independence for decades. What I see here is a repeat of Kargameshian history, played out right now upon the Golden Line. We stand by our Ascani cousins.
Are you worried about celestial influence?
As a merchant, I can tell you firsthand of their power across the coast.
So I've gotten dessert that deep to really know. Really enjoy those vanilla twist twirls I got a while back. Almond Kringles? Oh yeah, I love almond Kringles. I don't get them. I haven't really gotten one in a while, but they're very nice. Like, for those that don't know, Kringles are like these soft twisted cookies that you can get. They're super pillowy. They're wonderful.
Every port, every trade route, every company. They have investments everywhere.
Why are you so invested? They're clearly not the same type of halfling. Yeah, our halfling neighbors must be helped.
Good to hear, warrior. Good to hear.
Because, yeah, like, halflings are being subjugated right now. I'd like to browse your wares.
Great. What can I interest you in? For example, she pulls out a yellow scroll of the chest.
Alright, everything's too expensive for me. Okay, with that done, I just need one more business, and then we're good. Oh, wait. Dexterity? Nope, didn't learn anything new about him. Alright, engage.
Hey, it's you again. Buying something?
Okay, I can't give him the thing, so I probably need to find the kiosk owner and give it to him. Cardamom treat. Sweet taste is familiar, but I can't quite place it. Like maybe I ate something during Christmas that tasted the same years ago. Yeah, I mean, I associate certain seasons with particular flavors as well. Like Christmas, I actually associate more with cardamom than anything, but that's also because I frequently, as a kid, would go to this one Swedish bakery when visiting my grandparents. It's still there, just under different ownership, and thankfully, it's also not changed in any capacity. It is still the same wonderful bakery that I know as a kid. Or knew, rather. And we haven't been there recently, but I really want to go again because their lavender cardamom cookies are just something else. What's with this pipe? You look down at the pipe. Crawl inside. Now. Hey, Snell, check it out for me. Huh? Check what out exactly? Actually, never mind. Try to enter the pipe. You get down on your knees in the dirt and put your helmed face into the entrance of the pipe. You can't seem to get further without immense force. You can do that. Just push harder. Or press harder. Enter the hole. The diameter of the pipe is not wide enough to support your body, even with no armor and or added friction-lowering substances. Dark in there. Meek not like it. Snell, does it look like I'm getting anywhere? Yeah, just keep going. It'll be great. He is enjoying himself greatly at your expense. Meek help somehow? Wait, I have grease! You say the words. It causes the entire surface of the inside of the pipe to get very slick. Very glidey. This'll go terrible. -10 on the DC. There we fucking go. You squeeze on through, finding a side path, one that doesn't seem to lead directly into the sea. Then you hit a flowing rush of ice-cold water. Then down. Then your flesh is sucked, tumbled, and spat out on the ruinous ground. Around you, a vast survey site of a type of divine era temple. And Snell. Snell, you went in after me? Of course not. Your companion takes a deep breath. Got a suggestion in DMs? Hold on. I'll check. Let me see. Oh, that sounds really good, Combo. Oh, man, that sounds really nice. Yeah, I don't know. Right now, getting baked goods has not really been something that I've been keen on doing because everything's expensive right now, so it's kind of more of a very occasional sweet treat for me. And lately, my desserts after dinner have always been like yogurt with either cereal or some kind of granola mixture with some fruit and maybe some honey. Like, that's been it. Because it's expensive to get those things, you know? Although, I did find one that absolutely is to keep on the radar if you ever find it. You ever tried a fry pie? It's like a combination of a donut and a Danish. About the same. Also, that oat recipe I dropped a while back. Yeah. Combo and I like to trade recipes. I find stuff, he finds stuff. Fry pie? Yeah. They're essentially like a donut crossed with a Danish where pie filling is used as the interior. Funnily enough, I found them at a gas station. They look like empanadas. Yeah, they're like empanadas, but with pie filling. It's so fucking good. And you'd think like, oh, gas station food, Will? What the fuck are you talking about? I'm like, no. The gas station near me has genuinely decent food. Like really decent burritos, quesadillas. I had a pork tenderloin sandwich from there that wasn't bad. But the fry pies, those fuckers are dangerous. They're like $5 to $6 per pie. But, oh man, paired with some coffee or something, like I need to stop talking before I want to get one myself. They're so good. Since I didn't see you get dropped into the river, I ran downstairs to check. Lucky for you, you got spat out right here right near the garden. Why did you let me go into that
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, sure. While we're down here, we might as well take a look around. Just be careful. The city below has some nasty stuff in it. Though the survey site seems safe enough.
Groan, far down in the dungeon below. Oh, we're here. Interesting. So this is where we ended up with the pipe. This is where we first met the deep dwarf, or the under folk that we talked to. All right. Well, it is in-game 3 in the afternoon, so I think it is time... Wait. Why can't I just gather rats? Election week. What is this for? Game? Hello? Uh-oh. Am I glitched? I think I'm glitched. Uh-oh. Well, that's not good. Oh god, did the game save? Autosave for me? Well, that sucks. Hold on. Yeah, because what's supposed to happen is one of my stats is supposed to talk to me, but I guess that just isn't working. Well, that's unfortunate. Wow, my first ever glitch in this game. Damn, okay. Please let me be in the... Okay. So it's after I talked to her, but before I went into the pipe. Well, I'm not going to go through that pipe again. I can make that check, but now that I know it just goes into the same place, I'm not going to worry about it. We'll just go through the garden to get to the spot I want to go to. But yeah, maybe I'll just go through Viskin's spot. Yeah, I really enjoyed the fry pies, because my dad told me about them initially, and now that I know that they're within a short drive from me, I'm like, oh god, don't tell me that. Loot him, because I remember when we tried to lift up this, it actually tried to hurt me. So I guess that's still a no. Alright, I'm okay with the spells that I've got prepped for now, so let's just continue. Okay. That's all the goblins. If there's anything that I wish I could figure out, if there is something like that in this game, I would love to have a map function to let me fast travel to like some key areas, but I don't know. Guess that just wasn't the idea. It's not a huge map, so it's not that big of a deal. All right. I'm going to quick save. Actually, no. We're going to do a full save. I'm going to try that again. There we go.
You've expressed some opinions lately.
I have.
Now you will listen to true reason. You see, what all this has been is an opportunity to share this tumultuous part of yourself with others. So now that part lives out there, it will stay there for some time, collectivizing into zeitgeist, growing, decaying, until it festers into an unimaginable beast of bureaucracy. That, in its nature, is an election,
a general election of leadership and governance. It is, of course, a complete farce. Why is it a farce? Because no one seeks answers, only power. The true order was corrupted and betrayed long ago. What's the true order? During the arcane era, it was men who rose above all else. Wizards with unimaginable power used a perfect system of meritocracy to lift themselves up and build empires. These great men fell when the rules betrayed them, their powers stifled, their minds corroded. The Coast War was bloody and sealed the fate of this order. What about great women? It is not as simple as that. There are many reasons why men rule among humans, just like there are many reasons why humans rose above all others during the arcane era. Fuck off, intelligence. One day you will tackle this topic thoroughly, with statistics. It is not this day. Why do I feel the need to ask strangers about their voting choices all the time? Because of your intellectual curiosity. Keep asking. Eventually their weak facade will fall off. The truth being only a disappointing allegory for morality. The search for agency, for meaning. You know it well. No. What you do is seek support. Your brothers and sisters have different thoughts than yourself. You wish to mingle yours with theirs. That is healthy. You ask to tell, to share the knowledge. Norvik is for the Earth folk. Humans must come first. This is your city. You ask for lots of different reasons. Number one being, because democracy is exciting. The new world is exciting. Vote Free Strider, March 27th, 27 PE. Attempt to ask yourself for real this time, what should I vote in the election? Fuck. No. Asking such a question is not valid, for democracy itself is flawed. But how exactly? You need to ask. If you need to ask, then you are not ready to learn. Motherfucker, literally the exact same role. Literally the exact same role. Alright. Big money, no whammies? Even worse. Come on. Just my last try on this. There we go. Better. Got it. I have rolled like ass at points in this game. As I said, I do not need my Pathfinder luck following me in this game. Ask. Do this. Receive an answer. But do not regret your inquiry. But seriously, what should I vote for? Ask your intelligence. Being blunt is healthy. As such, you should listen to the following well. There is no good choice here. None whatsoever. What about the Arcanist party? It does not exist. Or rather, it might as well not. You know of Old Man Prax and his gathering of so-called wizards. However, branding a political party around the abhorrent ideology of the previous era is not an intelligent idea. Yeah, I mean, why would you want to dredge up memories of a horrible meritocracy run by wizards that don't give a shit about anybody else? Add to that Old Man Prax's imbecilic behavior, and you've got a failed party for idiots. Fuck it, what about the goddamn Asgalists? If a dozen dwarves knocked on your door and asked you to hand over all your wealth with the promise that it would be returned when you really needed it, would you trust them? Fuck yeah, I love dwarves. That is how they get you. Asgal was a simple underground dwarven male, born during the Divine Era. He was a dwarf who came from nothing but resentment and anger. It is not clear whether or not he was truly a demigod, but in his death, he had left a ruined empire in his wake. Millions starving, a 1,000-year legacy of dwarven history destroyed. He wanted to take the amazing riches gathered by the many dynasties of the Lower Empire and simply hand them out to the population. An idealistic revolutionary. Some see him as precursor to the Free Strider movement, but in comparison, miraculously, the Free Striders look somewhat competent. The dwarves beneath Ascani never recovered from Asgal. Today his followers are known as exiles, since they are not allowed to even mention his foul name underground. Yet here in our city, we allow Asgalists to gather and share their toxic ideal freely. We are lucky they do not have the same kind of backing the Freestriders have. That would be the end of everything you hold dear.
Interesting perspective.
It is the truth, but nothing but the truth. The Nationalist Party of Norvik is a stale relic of theocracy and bureaucratic fascism. The ideology of nationalism, born during the fall of the megocracies in Old Dominor. The term originates from the Gnomish fascio, which means something akin to a collection of warriors. Ever since their demigod Earth died, they have been about as efficient as a dwarf on a bicycle, their city decaying so much in these decades they willingly organized an election. It is as if they subconsciously understand their decadence. Decadence? Is that the word? I think it is. Decadence. Crafting exactly what they deserve. Like a weak man who smiles at his wife crushes his ego. Day after day. The Nationalists are fucking ruining the city. Agreed. But in what way? They are weak. There is more to it than that, but yes.
I could vote for the Freestriders.
And allow the opportunists of New Dominor strangle this ancient city even more so? They already own most of it. Giving them de jure power would not change much, I agree. But it does not matter how much they promise to keep Norvik independent. If they win, they will surely incorporate it into the Free City Agreement. At first, through legal loopholes. Then, through the guise of increasing wealth. Then by simply lack of animosity among the populace. The Freestrider Revolution is a poison. It is already in your veins. So I shouldn't vote at all. That is up to you. It would certainly be cowardly to not make a decision at all, and might even anger many. Although being apolitical would certainly allow you to circumvent many disrupting situations. Truly, it is up to you. Though remember, it is as intellectually dishonest to take a position of neutrality due to fear of saying the wrong thing as it is to take a position for your own gain. A true genius speaks true, listens, then speaks again.
Fine, I'm ready.
Social democracy is the only ideology that does not trample upon the safety of the working person. Asgalism, as it appears in Norvik, is good. True good. You are forgetting about one.
Tell me more about Nationalist.
Human first. Follow in Earth's legacy.
Extra proficiency in roles when speaking with humans. Freestriders. Free trade. Prosperity. Democracy. In short, good shit. Gain 10% additional discount on all purchases. Yeah, so continuous growth of wealth. Tell me about Asgalist.
For your brothers and your sisters. For everyone below you. To flatten this uneven city. To make everything just and good. It is a simple dream. Asgalism.
Whoa, hello. Whenever you take damage, move one step forward on a secret 3-step counter. On step 1, a thesis. Die 20 is thrown. On step 2, if the damage you took is higher than the thesis die, an antithesis D4 die is thrown. On step 3, the damage you took is lowered either by 1 or by the antithesis die you rolled one during step 2. This is synthesis somehow. The next time you take damage, return to step 1. What the fuck? That's my brain too. What the fuck? Okay, so that's essentially saying roll a die 20, and if any damage I took is less than the first die that I rolled, then I roll a d4, and then on the third step I get lower damage based on the die 4 roll for a minimum of 1. Like, it's kind of like adding an armor buff onto yourself, but with some really bizarre extra steps. That's really bizarre.
It is quite simple. Essentially, you must perform a 3-step process of crafting, meeting, and unity. That is how you grow.
Tell me more about Arcanist.
A megocracy led by you. the greatest wizard of the coast. Whenever you use your last spell slot of any level, you roll a d100. If the result is lower than your natural intelligence, you regain that spell slot. Also, ads are going to come up in about 5 minutes. Heads up. Tell me about Agrarian. The way of the earth. Hungry. Whenever you pick up food, you roll 1d20. If you get 16 or higher, you get an additional food item. And apolitical. Objectively smart. Be whatever you need to be to win. Increase proficiency in rolls by 1. This amount is increased to 10 on any election day. Jesus Christ. Well, I'm not going to go apolitical, but that's a really good feat. Alright, I've come to a decision. It rumbles. I am Asgalist. You will make the world better. You feel a great deal of knowledge from dealing with this burning question in your heart. Good talk. So yeah, that essentially was an entire discussion about how elections can be some real fucking bullshit. That's such a bizarre feat, though. I can't really have too many feats on me because of... For every hour that passes, I'm gonna keep that one. That one's too handy. I do want this feat. Too many feats chosen. How do I change out my feats? Spellbook. No. Journal. No. Inventory. Extra proficiency rolls when speaking with feminine characters. You gain one is it? Can I like get rid of this feat? I don't know how to change out my feats. I need to look that up. All right. Anyway, holy shit, that was an interesting little diatribe. Like, essentially, that whole sequence was talking about how elections themselves have in the past not always, well, they don't typically ever always have the people's best interest at heart when it comes to the decisions. So, basically poking at every party and saying their downsides as much as their benefits. Oh, hello. The most central part of the great bracken tree of Tolstad. Among the tangled mess of vines and mossy rocks, you see the thick roots of a bracken tree. They crack open the walls and ceilings of this half-dwarven, half-anticipalian chamber. The natural retaking the artificial. It is beautiful. Hello? The tree does not respond. Alas, I don't think it's got a mouth. Or a brain. I guess you could talk to it with some magic. And again, I'm no expert. Look beyond the roots. They are thick and create a vast, tight forest. However, there is something there. A space beyond the roots. Touch the roots. They are soft on the surface. A layer of moss. So this is the bottom of the big tree. More or less. The roots go deeper. Much, much deeper. Minun sexikas puni? The roots slowly but ever so slightly widen, revealing the goods within. The cache has been revealed. Lord Pooh appears to allow you to loot his cache now. How polite. So that's a bunch of spell books, or spell scrolls rather. Which ones? Barkskin. Ooh. Right. Yeah, we talked about that with the druid. So now I can increase my armor class. Hell yeah. Hold on. Is that another shard of Jor? Because I need more of those to get rerolls. Actually, wait. What's over here? I didn't see this passage. Where does this go? A snail shell. It's blocking the way. The air itself grows freezing cold as you head deeper into the tunnel, until you find the passage blocked by a spiral shell. It really did a good with the toon shading. Yeah, this game's art style is really nice to look at. It's a massive unit of a hail snail. It fills the entire eastern passage. Holy hells.
That's one thick snail.
Don't be rude. All right, well, we'll learn more after the ad break. So we're going into 3 minutes of ads, hour of no pre-rolls after. So hydrate, stretch, do whatever you need to do, and we'll be right back.
And we're back. Thank you for your patience. All right, I now have a filled water bottle, so we are all good.
He's just a little broad. Nothing wrong with that.
The hail snail moves its thick head, the blue eye stalks focusing on you? Hail snail, a small icy mollusk, spread in esoteric weather events, often wreaks havoc on crops and roofs alike.
Probably. What are you looking at?
It does not reply. The goblin waltzes up to it and looks it up and down. He looks almost proud. This big guy's been here for months. Last time I was here, he was facing slightly to the left. Moving closer, you do see the snail is moving. Maybe 10 degrees, or 5. Not very fast. The frozen mucus slowly melting around it indicates a pattern.
Yes. It is attempting to rotate, by hail snail standards, very, very slowly.
It'll be done by next year, probably. Then it'll head straight out of the tunnel into another 1 or 2.
Snell, isn't this creature blocking your goblin operations in some way?
At first, yeah. Sageleaf had plans of cleaning up the roots and establishing a mushroom farm across the south and east tunnels. But the prospect of dealing with that kind of cleanup duty wasn't exactly something people were excited by. So when this big boy fell out of a crack last year, the whole thing got postponed, and lots of halfway people were very, very fine with it.
He points back to through the tunnel.
And ever since, we've only had to deal with invasions from the south tunnels.
Oh, so this leads to the east tunnels?
Yep.
I wanted to go to the east tunnels.
Are you saying that only because you can't go there?
Yes.
Trust me, everything east of here is shit. East tunnels just lead to a bunch of dangerous trap-filled spiral holes leading to the shifting falls. Then the water temple. And then the water temple. Technically, there's some routes that lead to the lower palace as well. But if you want to go there, you'd be better off taking the upper paths.
Shifting falls. A deep, cavernous part of the city below, found underneath the eastern districts of Norvik. It stretches far down all the way to the gravity flip, and is the only discovered part of the city below to do so, known for its magical waterfalls and hanging architecture. Yeah, so if you go far enough underground in this setting, you straight up just go into a gravity flip. Like that's the whole deal. I'm excited for it. You don't have to try to sell it, Snell. The goblin just looks at you, his gaze giving a type of neutral, dissociated look.
Basically, the snail halved our work down here is what I'm saying.
He turns to the creature and yells,
So take your time, will ya? All the time in the world.
I want to pet the hail snail.
Why? That would be very cold. A lovely sentiment, but it could hurt you quite a lot. Frostbite is no joke.
You could probably make a joke about frostbite if you tried hard enough.
People have lost limbs to it. Fingers, noses, even toes. It is not a joke.
Oh, I got one. What do you call the guy who loses his toes to frostbite?
No, don't.
Come on, don't be boring.
Seriously, don't.
Fine, you'll never hear the punchline then.
Good. One less mean joke in the world.
Okay, maybe I don't want to pet the giant snail.
Good choice.
Good luck, snail. Alright, I'm gonna do a strong save again. Is that a green rat? Why am I collecting rats? Why can't I collect rats? Oh god, why? Oh, I feel a sneeze coming and it will not fucking go through. Ah!
Son of a bitch. Ugh.
Okay, we're gonna resume and then we will now continue into the city below.
Ugh.
You approach the white main mural once more. 3 serpents frozen in an eternal dance. Touch the carving. The stone is smooth, cool, worn by time but still detailed. The primitive cave paintings stare back at you.
Ancient humanoid figures frozen in eternal dance.
There we go.
You study the figures carefully. The pigments, the style, the preservation. It's not white mane nor snail folk in origin. These paintings predate all of them.
Before snail folk?
Yes, before the Fade era. At the earliest, these should be dated to the early Gate Wars, long before recorded human history.
They look quite alien. What are those creatures supposed to even be?
They could be depictions of a forgotten beast of Jor, a folk type or higher being connected with Jor. Though the less exciting answer would be, these are rare aberrations, depicted by whatever people inhabited Ascan before the Tolincatl.
I choose to believe these are super interesting alien artwork that just happens to be left here below the city.
Right.
Alright, well that's cool. So something that predates a whole lot of things. Fun.
Alright, and this is where we found the hat. Oh my god. Leaves, left to dry for a long time.
Ooh, incense.
And a grand engraving of the Divine Era. Among the fallen and the broken of an ancient world lies among them a single structure, a monument to a forgotten power. At the top, a cracked lion's head glares at you, a one-eyed lion with a single dark and empty socket. It's a shrine, isn't it? A shrine to what god? One lost to time. Does it work? You may prepare spells here, yes. There is a connection to divinity. Shrines like this often hold a latent connection to Jor's strings. If you can do it at the shrine, one of a dead god, why not another? Wait, if you can do it at the shrine of one dead god, why not another?
You see anything like this, Snell?
Sure. Looks like a normal cat thing. There's a ton of them all over the city if you know where to look.
Go on.
I don't have anything else to say, really. Hard to tell exactly what's going on here, due to the rubble and the dust. You could try investigating it more closely, but remember, the White Manes are famous for their traps, so be careful.
What do you think, Meek?
Your scarf rustles.
Meek thinks spooky ghost.
And his first comment is before he even opens his eye.
Many spooky ghosts in a place like this.
The mimic's gaze darts around the chamber.
Yes, 100% is trap here. Beware, master.
Not surprising. If you gotta investigate, just be careful.
I don't know why I even say that. I know you're not gonna listen.
You can listen, just not right now. Take a step closer. You look over the front of the shrine, seeing traces of markings on the surface.
What is that light from the ceiling?
It is an illusion, do not mind it. It is absolutely not the sun. Glancing upward reveals the rays to be nothing but a magical tingle on your eyes. This is no esoteric pocket, but it most likely once was. Look for that symbol Axel was talking about. You dust off the front of the shrine, then the sides of the shrine. It's faint, but there is some type of symbol on it. It is difficult to tell what's a weathered scratch and what's a creative choice. Look closer. Yes, a symbol. A symbol of a sun, definitely. If this is what Axel wanted you to find, you found it.
Huh. So what do I do now?
Get back to your dwarf buddy, of course. Yes. Tell Axel about this symbol. He would be grateful for the information. Very grateful. Like get a nice little payday grateful. You find what you're looking for?
Yep. Great. Happy for you.
His tone of voice indicates,
please, can we leave this scary ruin now?
Or maybe I'll just be happy that he's happy. We'll all be happy together.
That sounds lovely.
There's a lot of ruins down here.
Yes, you should, right away.
DC 7?
There we fucking go. Alright, our luck's picking back up. Your gloved hand glides over the markings at the front of the shrine. There's something there, inside the stone, and it's text. Tracing your fingers, you realize something is written, faintly, scrubbed down over centuries, into the surface of the shrine. It says, Eloho rojo viglas tus logros. You take a step back and mumble it to yourself. It means the red eye watches over you. Does that mean anything? Probably. They wouldn't just write that on a shrine for no reason. Oh, what if I have to get that red stone from the roller mill down here? He shrugs. They honestly might have, but who knows? You glance upward at the lion's head. The eye socket. Perfectly sized for a gemstone. This is obviously a secret you would be able to trigger in case you insert the correct gemstone. Wait, don't I have a gemstone already? The stony lion's head glares at you with one sunken dark eye. You might want to be a bit careful about it, but you could probably put in that jacinth here. So I need to insert a gemstone. Yes, either a ruby or a jacinth would be a rather practical guess. These barbaric civilizations, if you can even call them that, were all the same. Shiny rocks and mysterious temples used as esoteric triggers. Alright? Carefully you guide the jacinth into the perfectly sized eye hole. Also, fuck off with that comment, intelligence. Come on. Once close enough, like a magnet, it gets sucked in. Then you hear a strange noise in the walls. Oh, God! The goblin gasps of air, unable to speak. Look to your left. Oh, you just almost just died. Begin to shake due to a slightly delayed adrenaline kick. You would have died had the final blade not been blocked by those vines. And Snell would have died if he had stood a bit further back or to the left. Fuck! The goblin is actually shaking. Gods have mercy. We were so close to just, like, dying. Look at these things. You'd be cut in half. Are you aware of that, cleric? Yes, maybe. We'll see in a bit. I've heard a delayed response is normal in these situations. Heard about a guy that got an arrow through his skull once, like straight through. The goblin tends to talk a lot when he's in emotional panic. This fucking guy, he just kept walking about like nothing happened. Like he was just... With a brash crack, the front of the shrine pops out of place. The goblin jumps. A deep rumbling voice echoes through the chamber as a lion's skull begins floating around outside of the shrine. I was about to say shifting along the ghostly halberd. El vigilante rojo de crin blanca castigara tu. Uh-oh. Then the skull falls on the ground. Stare at it as it rolls on the side. Huh. I'm not sure. He glances around, scanning for threats. That was a ghostly apparition left to guard the shrine. I don't think they planned it to go that way. For once I agree with you. The skull is on the ground before you, and that halberd is just floating there. All ghost-like. Be careful. Loot them, come on. Guess I'll check them out. A lion skull. You kneel to the ground and look at the cat-like skull on the ground. What's your thoughts on this, Snell? My head's as empty as that skull, cleric. Can we go? Hello? No response. Okay, I'll leave you to it. Pat the skull and leave. Behold, a ghostly halberd. Wait, I get a ghost halberd? Hold the fuck on. That's fucking cool. Fuck yeah. What was updated? I think it was just one of my quest things. Okay.
And spellbook, I know we got bark skin. Alright. I remember that I died here last time because of this fucking guy, so...
A sinking feeling appears.
Master, this is... Beware!
To your right. Your gut. It falters.
The goblin jolts to the side.
Cleric, this!
Huh?
Big monster!
Oh no.
Okay, it rolled a nat 1, so that's good. One of the stalagmites has sprouted a particularly nasty-looking maw.
It was hidden well, but Meek's warning saved you from getting grabbed in the last second. Now fight!
Here we go, the goblin mutters as he brings out his sling in one swift motion.
Gods bless my bullet!
He fires off a shot, hitting the beast right at the center of mass. But it just bounces off. The roper shrieks clearly angered.
A duel of fates. It's time to defeat this beast. For real. Stop. Think for a moment. It will be worth the investment.
Am I just in a fist fight with a monster?
Isn't it glorious?
You're a distraction. If you hold out long enough, the goblin will eventually destroy the roper. You notice its tendrils slashing along the ground. If you were to stomp on it, then it could surely weaken it.
This is a great idea.
Should I run? Might be a good idea. Then again, you'll probably have to go through here at some point. But this will be very, very dangerous. I need to think for a second.
Yes, you do. There's no time, just fight.
There we go.
It does not take a genius to figure it out. Simply look at the thing for a few seconds. This esoteric beast holds but one great disadvantage with its horrific guise. Its eye.
Oh.
Oh yes. Hit it in the eye. Do the Nintendo method and just smack it in the eye a few times. That makes a lot of sense, obviously. You take a breath.
Flung around the cavern comes a long, rubbery tendril. Right towards your face. Lashing. It strikes your armor, but it's okay. You are a tank. Your prey.
I'll hit him. I swear to the gods.
The goblin lines up a shot and... It hits the roper right next to its large eye, but it just seems to bounce off.
Cocksucker!
Even still, the creature does get distracted by the shot.
Let's make this happen.
Punch the roper. That's a dirty 20.
With force.
In perfect form, your fist makes contact with the beast's horrific, unblinking eye. The softness of its molds around you. The softness of it molds around you, and a flood of warm, disgusting, yellowish blood begins to flow out of the hole. It shrieks and pulls back. The terrible noise disappears into the abyss. The tentacles writhing, the roper blinging flees. Blindly flees. In its panic, it runs right over the edge. Breathe again. You fill your lungs with air. Your knees are weak. The goblin leans on his knees and groans.
That was tight.
But, well done.
You too. Great job, Snell.
The goblin reluctantly returns a thumbs up to you as well. He is pained by making such a cheesy gesture, but you've clearly earned it. Nice. Let's see what's deeper in this cavern. Yeah, last time I got killed by that thing, so I'm glad I got that done. Actually, I'm going to save now that we got that handled. And I'm going to probably be live for just a little longer, because, as I said, I need to start waking up earlier due to my new change in schedule. Who put these barrels here? What the... Wait, was this just a shortcut to our crocodile friend? Oh.
So the mural's the way to go. The hulking beast looks at you with a deep hunger. Your gut biome quivers.
Cried, great humans.
I found this rat. The monster stares at you as you hold up the white rat in an uncomfortable grip.
Cried sees that. There are 5 of them. They make a lot of noise when they come around.
Put the rat back in your pouch. Guess I'll have to find all 5. But why? It's a quest. Who gave you this quest? I'm not sure. Then you should probably reconsider before you head out on a rat hunting mission, since nobody has promised you any pay for it. So yeah, think about that. Okay, so that whole sequence was just about finding the shortcut down to the city below. I mean, I don't mind that. That's not a bad thing. So I need to get a red gemstone in order to pass through that mural at least. Because failing that, we only got ourselves... Well, we got a sick-ass halberd with that, so that's a plus. Trying to think, what else is there that I can do? I do need to find a third business to talk to get the warehouse thing open. I could cast Charm Person, but that doesn't last that long. And I wonder what the outcome will end up being if that goes poorly. All right. Are there any other businesses I can think of in Norvik that I can... There's the kiosk, but I need to find the guy that runs it. Nothing around here. Yeah, Combo mentioned it, but the toon shading style in this game... this game's got a really nice art style. It's quite good. Oh, wait! The fucking, the bookbinder. The guy that fixed my spell book. I completely forgot about him. Let's go to Waterlane. I just remembered. God, how could I forget about that? Okay, hey, man. Oh. Open at sundown. Ah. Okay, so I have to hold off on that. Dang it. Okay, well, it was an idea at least. Well, maybe we could go up to the Griffin. Scotty Reed's Trading Company. Actually, what's in here? Oh. Oh my god. Ambassador is... Oh, you must be part of the Golden Line. Oh, shit. The light blinds you. Even among Celestials, this creature is powerful. It seems out of place. Why would an ambassador of the Golden Horde be here? Why would this creature of such great and bright force even be here? It doesn't make any sense. Anticipalian, a creature who was ancient before this world was created. What stands before you is no ambassador. This is a close servant of an outer power. That is why your body recoils, even when the light appears to signal nothing but be not afraid to your senses. In its prime, it held closer resemblance to our walking gods than any angel or horde. Why is it reduced to your material level, here in your city? What a strange world you live in to get a chance to have a civil conversation with it. Okay, I'll go for a bit longer after 3 hours because I need to fucking talk to this guy, whoever they are. Like, this is fascinating, because I know the golden... No, I know the Free Striders were wanting to be a part of the Golden Horde because they could share wealth with each other due to them overtaking the halfling structure. So this is a very interesting conversation we get to have. Entering the AR Trading Company greets you with a blinding light. A celestial being, wrought in radiant light.
Ah, cleric, arriving exactly when I need you. This is the ambassador of the Golden Horde.
The light reaches out to you as a voice forms in your mind.
Do not fear the light. Ours do not disalign. You are safe.
Your legs turn to jelly.
This whole do not be afraid business is sort of counterproductive, really.
Ambassador?
Cleric?
The light flutters. Snell stands behind you, clearly uncomfortable.
Careful, cleric.
Beside the light stands a woman draped in red. The light reaches towards her. She bows her head to it.
Yes, Ambassador.
She begins to leave for the door, but on the way she throws you a stern glance.
Watch yourself, cleric, for the light watches you.
Once the ambassador's servant leaves, Vera lifts her chin, squinting.
So, we've been talking about some new projects on Waterlane. I mentioned how you helped getting the AEFAs out to local entrepreneurs, and they...
We know who you are. Ron and Snell.
The voice interrupts Vera, who immediately goes silent. The goblin jolts at the mention of his name in his mind. He dares not look at the light.
That's scary. Don't worry, the ambassador means it in a nice way.
The ambassador's light then turns to your companion.
A goblin is in service of the Dragon of Tolstad. You tread a clean path. You led the front during the Ice Bay Point operation.
Ice Bay Point operation, the eastern point of the Palace District, the third largest port in Norvik.
You stabilized the HWBT City Below expansion project on your first year of service. A goblin going against the grain to get results. You have been noticed.
Look at Snell. Snell attempts to glare at the light. He is sweating. Snell is nervous. You feel bad for him.
Thanks for noticing.
The light grows closer to you.
You are special, Ron. An exception. The Horde places attention on expectations. That is what we do.
How am I special?
You are the only registered cleric in the city who is not listed in the party of Norvik.
That's just because they didn't like you.
A bureaucratic mess. You have a history of political violence. You have an innate talent for the esoteric arts.
That was a false report. You did not enact any violence. The violence was enacted upon you by an Earthguard soldier.
You have shown support for Reedsian ideologues in public writing. Multiple times.
Yeah, your patriarch did not like that. Not one bit. The only reason why you haven't been fired is your incredible magical knowledge.
Yeah, they only keep you around because you're still useful. Otherwise, with all this bullshit hanging about, you'd be gone a long time ago.
You are an anomaly, Ron. What have you done here with Agent Vera? What you have done here with Agent Vera shows more proof of that.
Why are you paying attention to me?
It is what we do. The Golden Horde wishes to extend a bond of service to you. You and Snell.
A bond?
A bond.
A bond. The Golden Horde offers many opportunities for outside contractors. Addressed through the Ascani Reeds Trading Company, we would be very interested in building this potential relationship. This means for you well-paid positions of power, political ambitions, monetary security. In return, this means monthly communications with agents, occasional alternate goals as ordained by us, and the eventual joining the Golden Horde's outreach program.
Until you're no longer useful. This would be signing your soul away to a foreign power. If calculated, it could prove useful, but in the long term it seems foolish.
You cannot read the Celestial.
is truly alien to you.
The AR Trading Co. would, of course, cooperate on such a deal if you were interested, Cleric. We have deep ties with the Golden Horde, as you can imagine.
Is this offer something you would be interested in, Ron?
No. They literally subjugated an entire people's, like an entire society of halflings. No, fuck you. Nothing about this has to happen right away.
His response has been recorded. That is what we needed. We shall leave this for now. And while we are here, the offer is also extended to Snell. Do you hold any interest in this deal? His eyes dart to you. He's being clever here. Calculated.
I can consider it. I can consider it.
Your consideration has been recorded.
Look at Snell. He shrugs.
Thank you. Now to move on. Several AEFAs have been signed on Tolstad. That is good work, Agent Vera.
Oh, like I mentioned, the cleric's effort was integral to the success, and we will continue in the coming days post-election.
That is satisfactory.
Not so many people were positive about this AEFA business. They'll come around. They always do.
As to the content of these contracts, I have been informed of some changes.
Changes?
Her stance changes. She did not like that. Uh-oh.
What changes?
Currently, the Accord has a big incentive for Reedsian investors. We wish to expand that to include those of the Golden Horde.
Yep. They want their hive mind celestial brains to just keep on expanding over and over and over. I believe we spoke about this at the...
This AEFA also includes several loopholes and problematic elements that could interfere with the Golden Horde's current and future blockades.
The clan lands.
Yes, among others. If local businesses are able to trade freely via land as well as sea to regions and states the Golden Horde deems sanctioned, in both more serious cases as the clan land conflict as well as lesser situations of targeted tariffs, then we cannot move forward. This issue has been brought forth already with your owners. Expect several errata in the near future.
It would have been good to see these comments before the election, as discussed.
I apologize for the tardiness, but I assure you this issue is entirely the fault of the Ascani Reeds Trading Company.
You!
The rage. Agent Vera, this is above you. Above her rank.
She clears her throat and straightens her outfit. Of course, Ambassador. Thank you for the heads up.
The light turns back to you. The Golden Horde is very interested in seeing economic prosperity in your city, Ron.
They want control. Agent Vera nods, looking like she's going to explode.
The first step towards that is handling the clan lands. Far too long Norvik has ignored its halfling war criminal populace. I ask you, Ron, as a cleric of this city, do you believe the humans will choose prosperity over the propaganda of the clan lands?
Vera says nothing but throws you a glance.
Her anger now fades, replaced by another expression. Her eyes telling you, this guy's a monster, so be careful.
They will stand by the clan lands. The Horde forcibly is subjugating them.
For now. Ominous. The light perceives you. The golden line is set. Halflings have shown themselves unable to accept this fact. We set the line to protect them, to create a lasting peace. Since they refuse to comply with our reasonable demands, I hope you understand. Our most peaceful method of handling their terrorism is through sanctions.
The light turns back to Vera.
Agent Vera, you have been a valuable asset for many years, yet I sense frustration in you. That is not acceptable.
She glares at the light.
You will make certain the Ascani Reeds Trading Company fully complies with the AEF8 erratum. It is a matter of Golden Horde security. It is not negotiable.
It will be your highest priority as of now. Vera looks defeated. The orc is beaten. This is tense. Focus. The light guy is fast and precise, but you know that he's bullshitting. It's instinct. Catch him on it. For the revolution. Stand up to him first, then do it. Ambassador, the Free Strider Revolution is the greatest feat of liberty the coast has ever seen. What makes you think the AR Trading Co. should take orders from you? This is all bullshit. The Free Striders are corrupt. The Golden Horde are a bunch of monsters. I can't stand either of you. Fuck them. The light intensifies. Cleric, you speak from the heart. Fascinating. We will, however, not be interested in working with you going forward. Agent Vera, I question your judgment here as well. I assume you understand this. Yes, Ambassador, she grunts, her jaw clenched and eyes locked at you. Fire and brimstone. I apologize for this. The ambassador begins to float towards the door. I will leave you now. Thank you for your time. The radiant light being opens the door via some type of telekinesis and floats out onto the streets of Waterlane. Vera stands up, walking over to the fireplace, leaning against the brickwork. Gods, I thought you would have a bit more tact. I'm not sorry. Obviously! She slams her clenched fist into the wall. Not so hard to cause any self-harm, but hard enough to make a sound. An act of frustration. Please leave, Cleric. Now. Maybe I should. Cleric, what can the AR do for you? The orc glares at you. Can I? Nothing I see. Well, good day. She will not speak to you because of what you did. You idiot. Oh well. What if I just went down anyway? This guy? Hey, man. Along with the docks, you see a bustling of humans and dwarves, cargo moving about among hard, salty waves hitting the pier, the grand port of Waterlane. You see only a glimpse of the dockyard from here. This is where the business happens. Though this is the quiet side. Looking across the span, you see most ships are docked on the West Walk, or Waterlane West, or whatever they call it these days. On the edge behind the Free Strider HQ, a number of workers are hanging about drinking and talking. One of them, a long-haired dwarf with droopy eyes, throws you a cool head nod. You look like a cleric. Hey, can you let me into that door? Point over there. Nah, man. Only Free Striders got access there. Who should I talk to? Dorelius, I guess. Or no, wait. He's never here. That guy's supposed to be the managing officer, you know. But Vera's pretty good, too. So Vera's the boss? Apparently. It's a bit messy now before the election, which is understandable, so I won't complain too much. What's up? Nothing much. Work is over for some, starting for others. It's like a tidal wave hitting the shore, you know. Like a never-ending search for capital. What's your story? My story? Yeah, tell me. Jesus Christ! I'm not that interesting. I just did what most exiles did. As the VK got all stale and no one could find a job, we moved downriver. Earth was really cool back in the day with all that stuff. My dad took me and my sister all the way down. He worked on the GSP, you know. I never got into construction myself, but since I finished school, I'd never been on the docks. Not here. I've only worked on Waterlane for a year or two. But I've been all over the city, really. The GSP outlet, Ice Bay Point, North Housing, had a gig with a factory on North Wall before the Bone Purge, but they shut down once they took down the zombies. So yeah, not a huge fan of the Free Striders, but the AR pays well. Nice folks. Beyond that, I'm looking for a wife at the moment. Had my eye on this gal who lived in the hills last year, but she liked my friend Jaggy more. I don't blame her. He's got a real nice mustache. Though it's getting hard saving up for a house these days, so not sure if I'll ever afford the whole family life, you know. Maybe I should vote Asgalist. Ah, what a lovely story. A regular dwarven tale. Thanks for asking.
Clerics don't usually act all nice and kindly, you know. He goes in for a fist bump.
You have been chosen. Do it.
Bump his fist. Hells yeah. Ear Snell audibly yawn behind you. Goodbye, citizen. Wow. Did not expect that was like backstory jump scare. The warehouse. Shit. Wait, hold on. Can't I... I probably can't ever enter that door now because I fucked that entire thing up. Well... Well, I should have done that roll, but oh well. That was our lesson learned, so we can't get access to the ink. That's a failed quest. Shit. Alright, well, we'll take root in that, and then I guess we'll have to tell the Asgalists that we cannot help out with that quill, unfortunately. Yeah, in the guild warehouse. So it's right there, but we can't do it because I fucked up there. I pissed her off too badly. And I don't know how to fix that, if I can fix it. Alright, well, that will be it for tonight, everybody. Thanks for joining me. This has been a lot of fun getting to learn more about this game and play some more and, you know, dealing with all the really interesting stuff here. We had a just straight up be not afraid angel. Like, more so. That's really something. But yeah, that's going to be it for tonight. So, as I have said a couple times, new schedule. So for VOD watchers on YouTube, my new schedule for Twitch for the summer months is going to be Tuesday through Thursday from 7 p.m. CST. So if you wanted to join me when I'm live next, be sure to follow my Blue Sky to see when I'm posting on that. And I'm also going to take the time to actually start posting weekly schedules, both on the YouTube community posts and on Blue Sky as well, because I have a format for that. I can do that. It's just I didn't get the time to set that up in full because of the new job, but since this is going on, I'm going to give that a try. But yeah, besides that, yeah, there isn't really a whole lot else to announce besides the new schedule. So starting Tuesday, you're going to be seeing more frequent streams, which will be nice. So be sure to follow me on my Blue Sky and subscribe to the YouTube to see when I'm next, and also to get updates on when VODs are up as well. And yeah, that's going to be all. So thanks for joining me, everybody. Stay hydrated, keep your postures checked, be good out there, and I'll see y'all next time. Bye.